Get that wood block off. Welcome.
Little Toto for that ass.
That's right. The audience will never know. They just hear that awesome intro song that we have. That my friend.
They'll never know how we keep such great time.
Yeah, no, totally. But anyway, yeah, the awesome song once again. Let's shout them out. The Brooklyn What, who are no longer a band.
Yes.
But now Jamie and Jesse do a band out of Brooklyn called No Ice, and they're fucking awesome. They have a record called "Come On and Feel No Ice," which is a cool Lemonheads reference,
Nice.
which I love the Lemonheads. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to episode number 12. Oh yeah, let's shut that shit off. Welcome to
I tried
episode.
to be all casual.
Yeah. Welcome to episode 12 of Red River Podcast. Yeah, number 12. I think so, right? That's what we're up to.
Is it 11?
No, I think George was 11. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
No. Do we even know?
Just say 11 and a half.
Paul
No,
was,
you're right.
Paul was 10.
Yes,
George
12.
was 11, which and then number 12 is today. So
Exactly.
Parker again.
I'm here. Hi.
Hey, Langen
I'm here.
with your coroner shirt this time.
That's right.
I don't even know that band.
They're so
With a C,
underrated.
not a K.
If you like Celtic Frost,
Yeah.
Celtic Frost, however you like to pronounce it,
I like
they're,
Celtic.
they're very similar to that progressive metal band.
It broke up
Switzerland.
in the 90s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Broke up in the
learned that.
90s.
I learned that.
And this fucking
A lot of
logo's
people broke up
killer.
in the 90s. That's nothing, you know.
It was a tough time for metal.
Not Cold Chamber.
The
It was a
mid-90s.
tough time for fucking metal.
A lot of guys were confused to find their footing when
Right?
it all blew the fuck up. Yeah.
You know, like Pantera was the only one that was doing their thing commercially.
And pretty much the same throughout. They didn't try to cater
No.
to.
They got heavier.
Yeah.
They were just like, okay, we'll just keep making heavier and heavier shit. And somehow, like, they just sold records. I don't know how the fuck
It's
they pulled it off.
actually really funny. I saw it. I wish I could remember where I read it, but like a top 10 like awkward, like metal bands and hardcore bands that tried to make the grunge change. If I can find it, I will post it on our
That's
page.
brutal.
And they're so fucking awful because
Yeah.
it's not natural. They're clearly been
I know
told
that
you
the-
gotta. Why can't you sound a little more like Allison James? You know,
There's
like-
one video where I know that Phil and Sam was actually wearing a flannel. No, I'm saying it's something off of Reinventing the Steel.
Really?
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
true.
I think
Yeah.
he was rocking one for a
I
while.
think you could flannel. You can get away with as long as you keep the music intact. But yeah, they were clearly trying real hard. You know.
But all right, so let's get to our guest. The first time we have someone of his profession, of his expertise, psychologist. I'm pretty sure.
That's right. You guys,
Nobel Peace Prize winner.
All right, we have Marc Shoenbach.
yeah, that's correct. Marc Shoenbach of Sadist Art Designs, which is my own little company that I started back in, I want to say 2011.
So you're
2011,
you're,
fairly new.
You're seasonal.
Oh, seasonal? You were going to say
I was gonna say
seasonal?
no. You're a seasoned vet.
A seasoned vet. Yeah, I mean, depends.
Try doing anything for 6 years.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
You know, try dating someone for 6 years.
You're
right.
Try walking for 6 years. Try eating the same food for 6 years.
Difficult.
It's yeah.
I agree.
You're right. I guess it is. Yeah, I guess that is a long time. It's actually
How long was Corner together for? Probably not even 6 years.
They might have made it 10, but they were limping along at the end.
So 6 good ones is what you're saying.
I guess you're right. 6 years is a long time. So I've been doing it for 6 years. So I specialize in horror art, specifically like stuff that I guess we all are into: 80s, 70s, 80s, and a little 90s stuff, like artwork that was
The glory days.
The glory days, hand painted. Like Brian's wearing a. I did not design it, but a really cool Hellraiser shirt. Fright Rags T-shirt, and the style that's a very popular style. A lot of companies are.
What do you mean by style, though? Like
It's like that hand painted look. This was a style, like, so he has all these DVDs. If you were to look at a lot of these things, this style, this hand painted. See how it looks painted?
yeah.
That
Oh, yeah.
was You're like sure.
No, yeah.
That was a very popular style back in the day. If you think about your favorite movie back in the day, it was a hand painted poster. Star Wars,
absolutely.
Indiana Jones, that
Even
kind
like
of stuff.
Animal House.
Yep,
all that
exactly.
stuff. Yeah.
All that stuff. So back
Cannonball Run.
Yeah, every poster here in this room, every piece of artwork is that style, hand painted. So
Hack-O-Lantern.
Yeah,
Nice.
wow, look
Good
at that.
moving,
Nice,
man.
Nice.
Was it really?
It's in the-
good?
no, it's horrible. Fucking piece of shit that was.
Yeah,
That artwork was so important, though. I mean, because
The cover was great.
When you went into the VHS store,
lot of
you could get
titties.
sold
Right.
just on the box.
That's
I'm like, I gotta get that, rent that.
You-
You
Right.
know, without even reading the back, it looked
You-
cool.
Black
look-
Roses, man. It
Dead
had
Pit,
that
I remember
Oh,
that
the-
3D.
yeah.
I think it was like the bigger the box was, like the more B it was. Like,
Right,
you know,
yeah,
you
they-
see it, and it's just like I remember walking into those mom and pop shops.
Yep.
And like the one that took the most space is like the one that had like the the least amount of budget.
Maybe they're figuring they're gonna draw your eye to it. And the money we
That's
save
right.
on script, production,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
actors, we can get more cardboard.
There you go.
You know?
You know what? That's
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say you're wrong.
That's Roger Corman's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, that
So
the
y-
artwork on those, I missed that.
Yeah, but it's cool because now you have these companies like Fright Rags and a lot of the companies now, but Waxwork Records, which is they're doing vinyls, so they're doing all the soundtracks from.
I got one of them right
You
there.
have it there?
The Day of the Dead I have up
Oh,
there. Yeah.
sweet! You put it in a frame.
Oh, yeah.
So all these like
Keep the
film-
hands off.
Yeah, no, it's great. All these films from yesteryear, these companies now are like kind of getting the rights to, and they're commissioning new artwork and stuff, and sort of like revitalizing this retro kind of thing, whatever. And they're selling product. It's like pushing product. They're able to. People want it. They want to collect, and like we're sitting here in a
Absolutely,
you know, and he's a collector, Brian. So this is what people want. So. I'm just happy to be able to be part of that.
Yeah, I mean you're a huge like I said, just not knowing you.
Yeah.
I don't know you. Just met you like 5 minutes
We're
ago.
gonna know each other.
Yeah.
Right in.
Complete. I mean, we're already Facebook friends. That's like
Wow.
that's
Right.
like that's like the modern day like
It's relationships
Butt
moving
fuck.
fast. Yeah.
soon we'll be on IG. But yeah, your artwork is fucking awesome.
Oh, thank
Very
you.
awesome.
I do appreciate that. Thank
Like
you.
it just
It's good.
reeks of like the stuff that we grew up on.
I appreciate that.
Fucking like just visually. We'll put up some pictures too, and I love that. And I don't know how the fuck you two guys met, you and
I
Parker.
guess how did we meet there?
It's funny. Mutual friend Neil Rubenstein was
Yeah.
over the house one time, and he came downstairs. I don't know if it was the first time he came down to the basement.
Oh, he was here.
He was here, yeah. And he just kind of looked around, and he was just like, "Yeah, you need to meet my friend Marc."
Oh,
And then
that's awesome.
I think he might have sent you a
He was
message.
right.
Yeah, I think yeah, and that was a while ago. That was probably like 3
sweet.
years ago
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
So I think we, friend requested each other, and then didn't really do anything after that. And then Marc actually put up a Darkest Hour video on his Facebook page. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then I think I commented something like, "Oh, these dudes were fucking great. They were party animals. I had great time touring with them, blah, blah, blah." And then he was just like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I toured with them back in the day." And then the whole Sky Came Falling thing
Yes,
came out.
I did not
and-
realize that, which
Yeah.
I fucking loved.
Yeah.
Well, that's basically what this podcast is. Like when we first figured, we're like, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to make it about? And it's like our DNA is music and movies. That's our,
You guys are all were in the hardcore scene together. I mean, that was your to get like
honestly
back in the day?
no. We kind of were at different times.
Yeah.
You know.
I was in the Ice Age, the Paleolithic.
You remember Cavemen? But yeah, no, music definitely. Like,
Right.
And we
Yeah.
like I still play in bands, but definitely not hard. I was never in a hardcore band, but all my friends were.
Oh yeah.
You know, so but we just knew that we wanted to talk because anytime we got together, whether it be just the few of us or like if he invited people over, our conversations would just jump from like everything from like Friday the
Everywhere.
13th
Yeah.
to a Darkest Hour or to like, whatever thrash band we're listening to.
Yeah.
So along the way, we were just like, oh, maybe we should start a podcast, just like every other jerk off on the planet. It's like, wow, we're jerk off.
We can be jerk offs.
So, and then that's kind of how it happened. We've just been friends for like the last few years. But I think once we discussed what we were into, it just made us like fast forward those years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So kind of like once you guys hit that horror, and then you're
Yeah.
like Sky Came
There
Falling,
you go.
and Darkest Hour. Darkest Hour was great. They were
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a legit metal band.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
back then amongst
Absolutely.
the metalcore.
Yeah, right.
yeah. They were fucking great guys to fucking tour with. Big ups to them.
Yeah. So, what are you doing now? Like, are you working on anything specifically?
Right now, yeah. So I do a lot of so it's all freelance stuff. So it's
Which is tricky, I bet,
something.
right?
You
You gotta hustle
Yeah. I'm really bad with deadlines. It causes a lot of depression because no, I don't like.
to force the art. I guess.
I don't like rules. I don't like.
I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I quit my last job for that reason.
because you know.
I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, I
you,
can't
you guys could suck a dick. Fucking 38, 39.
Yeah, right.
You guys,
Yeah.
like, you can't talk to me like that.
to me like a child.
Yeah, that's
Tell
what
you-
it was.
I'll tell you when this artist do. But yeah, but no, freelance. It's cool. It's very lonely. Working from home, but nobody to talk to. But as far as like what I'm doing right now, I have a lot of in my queue, a lot of projects for people who like independent films, people who are making a film and they need to entice the viewer with artwork.
Did you do the Easter Sunday thing?
Yeah. Easter Sunday, I did that. Yeah. I did the
that
artwork
poster's
for.
fucking
Yeah.
great.
I did
man.
that one. Yeah.
How did Jeremy reach out to you?
Oh, you know Jared? Okay.
Well, I started a horror group on Facebook called Horror No Discussion.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Right.
well, that's how we all kind of met.
Yep.
To
Yeah,
be
yeah,
honest
yeah.
with you,
Yeah.
we were like, oh, we have 8,000 mutual friends and shit. So,
Yep.
Oh yeah.
yo, look at this dude blowing up, man, blowing up. That's Jeremy right now calling in from Virginia.
Thanks for the shout out.
That's awesome.
How did he hit you?
I'm not
No one ever
sure
calls
how
me
they did. Back in the day when I was first, because I was a psychologist, I'll throw that in there. I was a psychologist at first. That's what I was doing. I was
okay.
making really good money doing that. And then I was
Wait.
Yeah.
All right, so you were a psychologist.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
Well, okay, so I was graduating in 2006. I started working. So I have my degrees in forensic psychology, and I was hired technically as a behavioral specialist. So I worked with people with autism, schizophrenia, mental retardation. Although that's not the word you're supposed to use. It's
OMRDD.
yeah.
Come on,
There you
man.
go. That's right.
Listen, man.
Yeah, that's right.
You
Correct.
think I don't fuck with Depakote like
Big
that?
brain on Sam.
Yeah,
Damn.
I fuck with Depakote, Thorazine, all that shit. So.
That's right. So
Ativan.
yeah. So, that's
You
right.
still got a script pad?
So yeah, what happened was while working at this facility, working with these guys, it wasn't very like I wasn't really exercising my psychology muscle. It was more like a lot of physical stuff, a lot of like these guys would get really aggressive, so I'd have to do like takedowns.
Oh, yeah. Skip.
Yeah. Oh, so you're obviously in the field.
I mean, I was like
Yeah.
Jack of all trades.
20 years ago.
Strategies, crisis interventions,
A
yeah.
map, all that
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. Look at this.
Damn,
Look at it.
son.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even know you anymore. Who is this guy? Who are you?
I'm sorry, I can't talk about it on Horror Nerd. I can't talk about my past lives.
Like a CIA operative. He's got this
fuck,
secret
man.
life.
We should
know.
start our own psychology.
Psychology podcast.
That's awesome.
But yeah,
Uh,
so all right, so I get
but
what you're saying because I was doing the same thing.
But it wasn't. But what was cool is that I was in my office. I was working with some of the coolest people like ever, and they were like super horror people, like just amazing. So that's what we would do. We would just talk horror. And at the time, I had, I guess, obtained an illegal copy of Photoshop, whatever, and I was just screwing around. And then I guess it was around 2008. I was taking a shit. And can you curse?
Yes, you can. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What? Fuck yes. Fuck yes.
We're on a 7-second
making it
delay.
His wife has
Parker,
a
get
dump
the button.
button. She has a dump button upstairs.
That's amazing. So I was looking through Entertainment Weekly magazine, and it was the it was when Grindhouse came out. Quentin Tarantino.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I saw this poster in the Entertainment Weekly, and I was like, "Well, I don't get it. This is a new movie, but the poster, like, did I see this poster before? It was a new poster, but it looked old.
70s.
It looked
Right,
70s.
yeah.
I was like, wait, how'd they do that? And I was studying it, and I was like, but how did they achieve that look? And then literally, I got up. Well, I went down to the basement where my computer was, and literally for the next 6 months, like I was just obsessed with trying to recreate the look of old posters. And then I would reach out to people. I'd be like, I think I'm ready to do this for people. But nobody would respond. I would like literally be like, I would like to do a poster for your film. I would go on Craigslist or whatever.
And you were fucking making money doing your thing.
I was making money as a psychologist. Nobody would hire me as
no, of course. I'm saying
yeah.
like you had like a lucrative career.
Yeah. It wasn't lucrative. It
But I
became
mean, like,
it became
That's
better
a-
later
listen,
on.
a career.
Yeah, I was gonna
yeah.
say it's like I
Yeah.
know lots of losers,
Yeah.
me included. Like, if you had something like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
something.
It was good, benefits and all that. But
Now,
it
now you went to
left.
school for that. You graduated for that. Do you have like what's your art background?
No,
Is
zero.
It something you just
Nope.
always like to do
No
on the
background.
side?
Yeah,
or you just
no,
jump?
not even because my mom is always just like, because I guess she still wants me to be a psychologist. You know,
I
so
don't
when
blame her.
Yeah. But when I tell her, oh, I got this really cool gig, I did Goosebumps. You remember those books I used to read, Mom? I'm doing stuff for them now. She's like, So, but she's like, I don't understand. You never used to do art. But I don't have a background in art. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't have a background in art.
That's really
fucking
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's something
Yeah.
just being super hyper.
Yeah, because your
Yeah.
work is so detailed.
I
man.
just
It's-
was an obsession. That's
It's like you had this thing inside you
yeah,
never knew and
right.
unlocked it.
That's
Wow.
what it was. That's exactly
From a
what it is.
grindhouse
Yeah.
poster. That's
Yeah.
that's amazing.
That's-
That's a good way to start too, because that poster, everything about that movie was.
Yeah.
Love it.
they did
Yeah.
everything.
Do you remember
right.
the poster with the
Oh, yeah,
syringe?
yeah. Yep.
That's what
Yeah,
it was.
Yep.
Sure.
So, yeah, it was from that, and then but I would reach out to people and nobody would respond, and then I found this one guy. I won't say his name because I don't want. But he was looking for a poster, and I said I'll do it for you, and I asked for like $100, and he's like, no, I'll give you 70, and I said deal.
Nice.
So for the next like 60, 70 hours, I worked on it, which works out to be like 2 cents an hour. Once that poster got released, boom, then everybody on Facebook, and I think that's when the Easter Sunday, to answer your original question,
Yeah.
once that was shared on Facebook, social media, I think that's when people were like, oh, he's pretty okay.
Yeah.
So-
How long ago did you do that poster? Because I know that he's been kicking that movie around for a while.
Yeah, quite some time. Maybe like 6 years ago, something like that.
Okay.
So it was a while ago.
So how do you like leave your main gig?
I got fired. Well, so I was okay. So I was working from 2006 to 2011 doing this. What we just talked about. It was like wrestling people with developmental disabilities. But it was cool. The people that I worked with were cool, and they were super horror. We even tried to make a horror movie at one point, which totally gave me. What's the word? Fueled my my engine, whatever. Actually, that's what it was. My big thing is I want to write a fucking script. I want to actually make a movie. That's my thing, and
Did you guys have a movie in mind? Did you guys?
Yeah, I had written a script. This script about this girl who thought her cats were trying to kill her, and we were going to film it. And it was like the greatest, most funnest experience ever. We didn't finish it, but just being on set and having people read your it was very independent, very like.
So if people were reading stuff, like it was like pretty.
It was very ego driven. Like it was like fueling my ego. Like people read the actors, whatever, reading lines that you had written.
Yeah, but I'm saying like it was. You were almost making it. You were getting it done then. It wasn't like an idea.
It wasn't. It never came to fruition. We just had a group of friends who I worked with. We all got together, much like this, and we would just try to make a
gotcha.
movie. It was like
Okay.
one of those things. Yeah, very, very indie. It didn't come to fruition, but I wanted to continue doing that. I think the movie poster thing was sort of like. Nobody wants to read your script. So in the industry, I don't know if you're familiar with, but if you have a script, nobody wants to read it. Nobody cares about your script. So you need to have an.
I'm in a band, so it's the same thing.
Same thing. Nobody wants to listen to your.
Yeah, you guys want
None
to
of
hear
my
our.
friends want to hear my podcast either. I get it, dude.
Oh, that's right. We have a podcast.
right. I mean, that's just the nature of it. People. That's just how people. They don't care until you can.
get them in somewhere
Yeah,
for free?
exactly. Yeah,
You guys are playing MSG?
Guest list.
Wow, man.
Right.
I had no idea.
yeah, exactly.
Wow, man. I remember you sent me that record like 10 years ago. Fucking awesome.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what it is, and I knew that, and I knew how people are, so I figured, well, I'll get in with. I'll do their artwork for them. That's what I'll do. I'll do the art.
It's a good way to get your foot in the door,
Yeah.
regardless. But you just happen to be really good at
thank
what
you.
you're doing.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I don't. Like I said, I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I'm so shocked how you
Yeah.
just jumped into it, because the work is like it's
Yeah.
as good as anything I've seen on
Oh,
any
thank you.
box in
Oh,
any
wow.
video store or what.
Appreciate
Like
that.
they're perfect. They're seriously.
No, I appreciate that.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
shocking.
No, it's
that
cool.
you didn't
I-
have
Yeah,
a
when he
background.
sent me the artwork, I didn't know. He's like, "Oh, my friend Marc does this," and I'm like, "All right, let's see." And then he sent me this shit. And I'm like,
Oh wow, that's
Amazing.
awesome.
"Whoa!" And you know what I love? Speaking of Neil Rubenstein,
Yeah.
the shit you did for his podcast.
Oh yeah.
With
In
the-
traffic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm
Well,
like looking
yeah.
at that. Did you see it?
No.
Oh my god, that's like I was a million times
Yeah,
jealous.
yeah.
I was
Oh,
like,
that's
this
awesome.
motherfucker.
Wow.
Well, I'll do one for you guys.
Sweet, man.
Alright. It's on
no-
recording now.
Yeah.
Check out.
Can't edit that one. I don't know why.
Well, I owe Neil a little bit because so I got into the hardcore scene way late, like I guess at the cusp of when it was ending. So you would say it would not ending, but like would you say like the hardcore scene in Long Island was sort of like maybe late 90s was kind of goodbye?
Yeah.
99 was like
yeah.
good night. Yeah, so I got into it around that time, so it was kind of like, like Sons of Abraham
Yep.
was Neil's band.
Yep.
And in 94 I started getting into death metal. That was my I had discovered this new music. I was like I was just blown away by the sound. And so I was just like I loved the sound, whatever. So some of my friends at school, they were not into death metal, but they were into underground music, and they had given me a tape or something of like Sons of Abraham, Converge, and like some other like metal bands. So it was like the transition, like because it's not very hard. It's what would you call like Sons or Converge? That's not hardcore. It's more like metal. Or,
Yeah, more metalish
yeah,
than
Converge
anything.
is definitely
Yeah, it's
just chaos.
Converge-
right.
Converge just sounds like an explosion
Yeah.
going off. That's
Right,
you know,
yeah.
What kind of
Yeah.
death metal were you into? Like
Cannibal Corpse,
Right.
Mortician, Cataclysm,
the standards.
Yeah.
Classics.
A lot of like
Yeah.
Relapse Records, Nuclear Blast,
Gotcha.
stuff like that.
Now this is death metal compilation.
right. Yes, exactly. I got a lot from that. So when I heard the Suns sound, like that was like one of the first of that sound. I don't like, I guess, like traditional hardcore, like with the I don't know what you call like Snapcase, maybe is that like a good? I don't like. I know. I'm sorry. Is that?
Whoa,
Sorry. Yeah.
whoa.
That vocal style.
Hold on a second.
That's one of the ones that Sam actually does like.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's one of the ones
Yeah.
I actually do.
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. No. I don't. The vocal. I like more of a like almost like a like Sky Cape Falling would be a good example. It's more of a metal. Whatever that vocal thing is, I can't describe it.
It's so hard
Like
to
a
describe
rougher
music.
voice.
It's rougher voice, kind of
kinda,
demonic-y. That I get into. I love that sound.
Yeah.
It's the death metal creep in it.
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
is. Sort of like there's like this. I don't know if they were influenced by it, but that to me it doesn't sound. It sounds inhuman. You know what I mean? Like that's what I
It's
like.
super hard to do.
I don't know
can't
how-
even. I don't know how to.
Yeah. It's-
And when I took vocal lessons, my vocal teacher, that's who she taught. She taught like all the screamers and all this
wow.
other shit.
Yeah.
Her name is like Melissa Cross, and she had a DVD called The Zen of Screaming.
I saw that.
Yeah, she was on MTV
that's
and all
awesome.
that other
Yes.
shit.
Oh wow! I want to hear that.
So I would like go up there and like Randy from Lamb of God and all these dudes
Oh,
from
nice.
like
I
Unearth
didn't
would
know
like
that.
yeah
Wow.
they were like coming out of the elevator and
Oh,
here
wow.
I am. I'm like, you guys, you want to hear my
Wait, they would learn how to.
Yeah, they were
That's
all.
sick.
This was like a long time ago, and I remember Randy had that Halo of Locust or
Yep.
whatever band.
Yeah.
So like they did like some kind of thing for her DVD release, and she invited me, and it was cool, man. He was a really nice guy, but she would have anytime I would go up, it would be like somebody, and this was like 2005, so it was
Right.
like that's the pop off era for like Lamb of God.
Yeah.
That's like
Right
standard
before they
singing
blow up.
in metal now.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I think
exactly,
a lot
yeah.
has to do with doing the sound with your voice, but letting the mic do the work
Yeah,
instead of
yeah, yeah.
screaming
Yeah,
into
yeah,
it. Like you can make the sound and
Yeah.
let the mic carry it without
Put the reverb up
blowing
or
every-
something.
You know what she told me? It's funny too.
What's that?
And I believe her, and it's true. She's like, yeah, you should probably just write songs for other people. She's like, you're a really good songwriter, but I don't really see you as like a front man. I'm like, And I didn't listen.
Oh, good.
In my head, I'm thinking like it's kind of a compliment, but not really.
Thanks.
It's amazing. It's awesome.
Can you write songs from the drums?
But I was gonna say with that sound, that vocal sound, that to me, Neil had that kind of that. I liked his very distinct. Are you familiar with?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So he had that. I listened to it as one of the first. Like I said, it was a Sons. I think Sons, Converge, Monster X. They're from Albany. Just a whole bunch of great stuff. Today is Today. I don't know if
Okay.
you,
Yep.
I think he was on that mix, whatever. And so I didn't grow up with Neil. I know there was, people used to hang out. There was a crew. I didn't know him, and it wasn't friends. So I kind of I was younger, so I kind of was just like sort of what's the word? Enamored by him. The fact that one day I remember we were all hanging out, and he came by, and I was just like, holy shit, because he was like, I loved his music by that point, his old bands and stuff. So I was just like enamored by him, whatever. And then years later, I guess I don't know how, but on MySpace, I was fucking around with these posters, and he said, dude, you should sell these. And then hearing him say that, when you hear, I'm not going to call him an idol or nothing like that, but hearing someone that you look up to in a way.
Yeah, definitely. Music is
Yeah.
strong, man. Like
Yeah, totally.
When you when someone makes music that you love, and
Yeah.
it like hardcore is one of those things where it's like, it's so not, hey, I'm up on stage.
Right.
You can't talk to me.
Right,
You know, it's
exactly.
not like Cold Chamber.
There you go.
Number 2.
Nice.
Or Metallica.
Yeah.
That's great.
Or Alex when he was on stage.
It's not like Stomp 442.
Oh, we got all of them.
That's amazing.
All right, now we got them all in.
Right,
all
got that
all
out.
our weekly references.
It's inclusive of the audience. It's one and the same.
Yeah,
It's very
absolutely.
Yeah.
personal.
Totally.
So and it's just like you said, he comes around, he probably doesn't think anything of it.
Right.
And it's just the influence continues. Like, some people, like you said, you were into his music, and then
Yeah.
every generation is influenced by someone else, and
Yeah.
then they come back and they're talking to that younger kid, and
Yeah.
younger kid's like, ooh,
Yeah. That's his
Dad's like, what, me? Who
Yeah.
gives a shit?
Well, that's
Yeah.
pretty much when I told him that, he's like, oh, yeah. But yeah, for sure. Like that was a cool thing.
How did he hit you up about doing the?
Neil or?
Yeah, Neil. Like, 'cause
And then I guess I don't know how Facebook we became Facebook friends, and he would like some of my stuff, and then he always said he wanted to hire me for something, and then when he had the In Traffic podcast, he finally did, and he's awesome because he was just like, do your thing, right? So there was literally no direction whatsoever.
Oh,
He was-
really?
Yeah, he was great. I mean, I think he. No, he was pretty much. I mean, because he's covered in tattoos, and I think he's like he understands the, an artist doing his thing. So I had super fun with that. He's a cool guy.
and how did you come up with that? Like, so you were just like, oh,
Well, his thing is called In Traffic. So I was just like, oh, we have a guy sitting in traffic, like a business dude, who's like, sat there so long that he like died. So
So awesome. So awesome.
just the detail on it is great.
No,
too.
thank you.
I like
Yeah,
the little what is that, the cone
cassette
thing.
yeah. That the logo, you mean?
Yeah, the logo.
The logo is actually his. I just kind of he. I don't know who did that. I used it.
Shout out to VLC because that's what I'm using now to convert. So that's what that.
Oh
little,
yeah, that's what that is. Right.
little traffic cone.
right. Exactly. Yeah.
It had a very you could have gone the thanks for the ride, lady angle
Nice.
with it. So.
Yeah. Totally.
Sequel.
Yeah. That's,
Spoiler alert.
That's
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
anyway,
it's funny. We went out to eat. I think it was last August. It was me, my wife, Neil, and his girl.
Oh, you did
and,
hang out with.
Oh yeah.
okay, so-
And I think it was August, so we were shooting the shit for like Halloween or whatever. And he was like, man, he's like, fuck. He's like, I should really get like you and Mark on like In Traffic for like a Halloween episode.
Oh,
and I'm
sweet.
just like, dude, that's awesome. He's like, yeah, just like sit in the back and like drink 40s and I'll hit record. I'm like, you had me at 40s,
he
bro.
He actually does it in the car.
I guess
it
yeah.
has to.
It has to be,
It
right?
has to be because
Yeah.
I hear it, and he says he's in traffic and he says he's in the car. So
Yeah.
I have no reason.
Put the pieces
man.
together.
I love
that.
I love the idea. I told him I'm like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
That's
I love the
fantastic.
idea. I've never. I don't think I actually met him in person.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe I have. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But you know, it like I told him on Facebook. I was just like, just the fact that you're sitting there in traffic, and it occurs to you like to kill two birds with one
Utilizing
stone.
time.
You know, it's got to be tough though, because like when you're, it's hard to concentrate while you're driving, and like you're thinking.
Distracted.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
sweating.
Road rage.
Cop pulls you over, like,
yeah,
"What, you know what you're doing? I was
Fucking
recording my
interviewing
podcast,
people,
and
man.
you fucking
Fucking-
interview, interrupted me.
Wait your turn, honky.
Amazing.
We're just getting to the best part. Thanks.
All right, so to bring it to music, we ask the people that come on to talk about their favorite band, or not their favorite band, but just any band, and they you know, that they want to talk about the discography. So you pick the Deftones, and we're gonna go from least favorite album to favorite album.
Least favorite album. All right, least favorite album. Hold on here.
He's looking.
All right, so you know it's fun, interesting because the list has
you want-
changed. Yeah, go ahead. You got me there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Interesting because the list has changed. So I guess last night or 2 nights ago I revisited all the albums on shuffle. But yeah. So
Yeah, like we were talking about before, they're one of those bands, I think, that they don't have a clear classic.
Right.
It can
Totally
go.
agree.
that's
Yeah.
what was the problem.
I've been a fan forever, but once the newer records started coming out, I was like, holy shit, but some people might
Exactly.
still
If I
keep
ranked their my favorite songs of them, each one might in order. It might be from
Yeah.
one from each album.
Exactly.
That's how.
Well,
much
that was the
their
problem,
whole
is that
thing, yeah.
They sort of are kind of a shuffle band where you could just get all their albums on and just hit shuffle, and so it's very difficult. But an album that I used to love, which after analyzing, I would say Saturday Night Wrist is probably my least favorite.
Okay.
My least favorite. And then you just want me to go up, shoot up? Is that- I'm sorry. No.
Yeah, no.
Go ahead.
So I'm just trying to remember. So, "Hole in the Earth" is in that one.
Right.
Yep.
That's the
That song's awesome.
Great
It's
song.
Great
Yeah.
song.
That song's really good.
course.
Beware's on there.
Yep.
Right.
There's some
right.
bangers on there. Definitely.
Rapture.
Oh,
Yep.
Rapture's great. Yeah.
Right. See,
But-
now I feel like it's not the worst.
But
that's yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's with a list like this.
The band this good.
Yeah, it's just
There's
Yeah,
no-
you can't say
There's
worse.
no
yeah.
clear stinker.
Yeah.
There's no
They-
Saint Anger.
right.
you know what? There is no Saint Anger and there's no Lulu. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, so
That's obvious.
what
Like,
number? How many?
There was 8. I think they have 8. I mean,
Okay.
aside from maybe cover or
No,
B-side.
eight,
Yeah,
eight,
it-
There's 8 would be
think.
like
eight's
8
good.
records.
All right, so let's do number 7 then.
7 would be right above that, and it's weird because I love this album. I love it, and I have it on vinyl, and that makes it that much more special. Gore, but I love Gore, but it is 7.
I don't. There's something about the production of that bothers me. But the songs are, once again, great. There's some
It's not a
bangers.
bad record to me, but it hasn't, maybe because it's the most recent. Maybe I don't have as much familiarity to it yet.
Yeah.
That's
but
why we met in
I
person
would-
too, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
that tour. Yes,
Was
correct.
that-
At the
that-
Coney Island.
Devin refused.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was-
Where?
shit.
Coney
Yeah.
Island?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there.
Were
Oh,
you?
nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was not there. But you guys were all there.
I was definitely there.
Yeah.
That
Nice.
was
That was a good
Ref-
set.
That was
list.
awesome.
That was a great set.
Refused. It's different seeing them in I think it was like daylight, and I was like so. I don't know. It was just like and I love Refused, but once it got dark and the Deftones came on,
Yeah.
great set list,
Yeah,
great
right.
sound. That might have been my favorite time I've seen them, and I've seen
Yeah.
them 6 or 7, 8 times.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen
Same
them a
here, yeah.
bunch, and that like
That was a good venue.
there was
too.
something about just the set, the songs, and Chino was on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was.
Jerry Cantrell was on Gore too.
Yes, he was.
Wow.
Yes, he
Love
was.
that guy.
Was he?
Yeah.
What?
He played. He
He's
played.
on
I
Guess
didn't know that.
Phantom Bride.
I think that's what it is.
Really?
As
Second to
vocals?
last song.
No,
no,
guitar.
guitar.
Oh.
Yeah. He did a solo.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
shit.
He tried singing, and Chino was like, absolutely.
Those two aren't harmonizing like Lane and him. That ain't happening.
That's great. And then I guess right above that,
Number
6.
Oh,
And I
amazing.
actually hated this album. This was the worst album for me. But then I revisited it, and I love it. Again, it's so hard to rate them, but whatever for the sake of the podcast, would be the self-titled. But I do love that album.
That one gets a lot of shit.
Yeah, it
that
gets
was
a lot
my
of shit.
least
that
favorite.
record.
That was my least
Least
favorite.
Yeah.
But I think Hexagram is one of the best songs they've
Yeah,
ever
correct.
written.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah.
Minerva.
There you
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
Little doggy upstairs.
I love that song
Right.
so much.
Yeah.
It's like epic.
Yeah.
sonically.
Oh, it's so epic.
You know what I
completely.
mean?
And then all the tracks after that sort of just. But I don't know.
I love what is that? Girls, Telephone, and Boys.
Yeah.
Is that? That's a
Telephone
great
and-
fucking
yeah, yeah.
song too.
You know, it's what they obviously changed so much, but it's such a gradual change from album
is a
to album.
gradual.
It makes sense
Yeah.
where they're going.
Yeah.
And I remember that record in particular. I don't know. It had a real reminded me of a lot of Smashing Pumpkins influence somewhere
Yeah.
in there in the guitars
Super
that I was
spacey.
finding.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love that.
was
record.
I'm looking at my cheat sheet too. That was the last one that Terry Data actually did too.
Terry.
Yeah.
The self-titled.
With
so
the
he
self-titled.
did the first 4.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was my least favorite for a time.
Yeah.
But seriously, once again, like I said, Hexagram, man, when I first heard that, I was like, this is going to be great. And then I didn't love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The record made me feel dizzy
Mm-hmm.
when I listened to it because of the effects and the way, like, the vocal. It was almost, it was weird. Like, it was like on a ship. I don't know. It's crazy. So
Physical effect on you.
Yeah.
It's like a Nintendo game that gives
Nice.
kids seizures and shit.
Shit my pants.
Super Spike V-Ball.
If that album made me shit my pants, I would rank it low too.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's amazing. Going above that, and this one grows on me more and more is Koi no Yokan, I guess. That's
Yep.
it? Koi no Yokan. But I really do like that album, actually. So,
That one, I think I
like
saw
it a
them
lot.
at the Paramount. I think.
Really?
was
Yeah,
that
yeah. I
Tour,
saw that
right?
one. Yes, I vomited.
Them and
it.
what is it? Glass Drop? No.
No, it was Contortionist, I think.
Oh, the contortion.
Is that who opened? I'm trying.
It was the winter time. around-
Yeah, I'm trying to think who the hell else was on that though. I thought somebody else.
Oh, Of Mice and
No.
Men, Women, and Children. No.
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 The Avett Brothers?
I don't know. I was there. It was good.
Yeah.
Was it Coroner?
Yeah.
No.
Whole chamber.
I'll tell you, you know what? Because no one gives a shit, but I'm going to interject anyway. That's my number one.
Koi.
Yep.
Corner?
Yeah, I had this whole conversation with a group of friends, and that's their number one as well. It's
What's the first track on that album? I can't remember the name.
Swerve
Swerve
City.
City.
It's such a fucking banger.
Oh yeah.
God, I love that song.
Every
Yeah.
song on that record I love, and to me, I think it's the white pony
I was gonna
that
say,
they
it's what-
always
yeah.
wanted to make.
Yeah.
It's fucking like when that record came out, I was like, holy shit. And from this day on, I think that's my number one. So,
It is very White Pony, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, totally. That was 2 years ago, or 3.
no, 2012.
That was that long
Damn,
ago?
that's
Yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah, we're getting old as
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah.
Fuck, man.
That made me sad.
Yeah, it's only 5 years after Grindhouse.
It's awesome. Diamond Eyes. I put Diamond Eyes above list. I fucking love that album.
That's a good one, too.
Yeah, I love it. Diamond Eyes was number 4.
I think they opened with that at Coney Island. That song, right?
The Diamond
Yes.
Eyes. Yeah.
So fucking heavy
that's
that
it.
song,
Yeah,
man.
it's
I know.
yeah.
And that was the first one where Sergio
Yep.
was on.
Right,
it, because it was
right,
after
right.
the Chi.
Yeah.
Oh, that whole
he was still
fucking,
alive,
he
was
just
still
not.
alive.
Yeah, that
You know,
sucks.
and
that whole
once
thing.
I'm like, okay, you got the guy from Quicksand.
Sign me up.
I'm
Do you
fucking
think their
with
sound changed?
People say, and it's arguable because the last 3 records, but I mean, it's such a
The
traumatic.
guy's a fucking sick bass player, so they could only get that
Right.
much better.
Right,
you
right,
know?
right.
They always change, though. You know,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's something.
I don't see anything that dynamically different. What were you gonna say?
There's something definitely. I don't know. There's something with the last 3 records because I think that they just kicked it into high gear. Because before Koi, Diamond Eyes was my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it came out, I'm like, holy shit, this is the record you guys have always wanted to make, and you fucking made it. Congratulations.
Ah.
Could be the profound experience, of losing a member
Yeah.
like
And the
that.
way it
that
happened,
really
yeah.
reflects on
Yeah,
the
well,
art
because
you're
they
gonna make.
scrapped
That's
the
kind of
record
like
they
Kiss
had.
Revenge you're getting into.
Huh.
You know,
Kiss Revenge.
the passing of Eric Carr, and they just
You think that's what did it?
yeah,
What made it
they
such
got-
a
fucking Gene Simmons got
mediocre
pissed,
record?
man. He put that fucking.
They must have not liked Eric Carr too much because fuck that record too.
We dedicate Revenge to you.
Yeah.
He's like up in hell, or heaven, going like, "Fuck you guys."
We're hot in the shade.
That's it.
Another mention.
We retrospectively dedicate that record to you because it wouldn't sell that well. Gene, sorry.
no,
Yes.
no, that's
Number 3.
number 3. So this would be like the top 3, and this is tricky because
I just want to do this.
yeah, I'm sorry, man.
That's all right.
So this is tricky because this is where it got like. So I do, we still have adrenaline around the fur, right? So I had a conversation with someone. I said, "Oh, I love adrenaline," and they're like, "Oh, you're into that new metal shit." And then I was like, they brought up the term new metal, which historically I don't like those kinds of
You had
bands.
this conversation when the album came out.
No,
you were saying,
no. Like recently, we're just
Oh.
going through the whole list of
And they said you were into that new metal shit.
yeah, because
Wow.
I guess if you listen to like adrenaline specifically. I don't know if it's new metal or rapcore, but it's very,
It's
very
something. Yeah, it's complete. It's
yeah.
their most like adolescent. Record.
Yeah, adolescent would be
But the person who said this, or what are the, my mom could have said that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right, yeah,
She
yeah.
don't know shit about music. Like,
No, they're
this
actually
person versed.
no, they love they love the Deftones.
They like Arcade Fire.
Arcade Fire, yeah. They do love the Deftones.
Okay.
But I mean, when you compare like Adrenaline to Koino, or any of the later ones,
Yeah.
it didn't have that. The Deftones has like that very dreamy thing in a lot of the
Yes.
songs. Whatever that thing is, maybe it
Absolutely.
started from White Pony and then it kind of continued. Whatever that.
It's
It's
complete.
their first
whatever that
record,
thing.
though.
It
Like,
started
they're
with like
just
digital
feeling
bath.
themselves.
Right,
Plus,
exactly.
it got released when that whole way, with the Korn's first album was probably a little before
maybe-
that.
Korn's first album was like 1992.
There was
or
a big
3. Yeah.
that period of the middle there that
This
a
is
lot
like
of it
95,
came
this
out,
thing, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Deftones for
Adrenaline was 95?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I guess that was the sound, at the time. I never saw it as new metal. I saw it as I don't know, like Mike Patney vocally, like really interesting scream. Like
They might have been dipping their toe in the water, but I don't think.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
think
it's all,
what it is like the band that came after is the band, like the band that they are today, like, or the band that just evolved. Like they're not a new metal band in any way.
not at all.
So like they made that record and it does have maybe some of those characteristics somewhat, but it was kind of what was popping at the time.
Right,
Sure.
exactly.
And then by the second
That's what
record, it
people
was
do.
different.
Yeah.
By fucking White Pony,
Way
it
different.
just
Yeah,
kept
yeah, yeah.
going and
Yeah.
going.
It
so,
almost reminds me of like the same career path like Radiohead had.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
Pablo Honey does not
Sound
represent what the rest of their career
Right,
sounds
right,
like.
right.
That was the sound of the time, but then as they went album to album, it changed. It's like
They
almost
just
the
got
same
shittier
thing.
and shittier, basically.
Well, that's a whole nother.
But that's what's so
topic,
great about seeing the Deftones, and they're going to be playing again. It's like they're not a greatest hits band. You want to see their new stuff because like they just keep evolving and stuff.
Do
So
they
they're-
play stuff from Adrenaline still? You
Oh,
guys
yeah,
see
they
them more?
usually
They-
enders
they'll
like
play, like,
7
Bored
word
and 7
yeah,
words.
Yeah, they end
They
with
do?
Bored. I think they ended with
okay.
Bored and
That's
7.
cool.
Yeah.
Engine.
Yeah,
Sometimes
no,
they
they,
do.
they did
Engine
Head
Nine.
Up though. I think they did
Head Up.
at
Yeah,
Coney
that's
Island.
That's around the fur,
around
though.
the fur.
Yeah.
Oh no, then I'm thinking of
Engine
You're
Nine.
right. No, you're right.
This ain't no
You're
motherfucker.
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Head
Yeah.
Up is around the fur because that's the one that had Max
Yep.
Cavalera.
Right,
Then
right,
he
right.
introduces technically Soulfly because he screams Soulfly.
Oh.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I thought he said so fly.
Yeah. Maybe he did.
So, all right. So what's number 3?
So number 3 would be
Three?
Adrenaline, right? It would be that, so because I like, right, 3 would be Adrenaline, and then 2 would be White Pony. I thought White Pony is actually one of my favorite albums of all time.
What's your favorite song?
Passenger or
Great song.
Fiesta, or however you say
Yeah,
it.
that's a
Fiesta.
that's a great opener.
Yeah, that's a really good.
Like
Yeah,
when it kicks in and it doesn't really have like a chorus or like the song structure is weird. Like obviously like I'm looking at it as someone who writes songs. I'm like, wow, it's just there's no like chorus,
Right,
there's no
right, yeah,
weird,
yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
just it's just this melody,
Yeah.
and then like I don't know.
When I saw them at one of the many times I saw them at Best Buy, and Dillinger opened,
Oh, not yet.
and they did Passenger, and the singer Dillinger came out to do the
Yes,
Maynard
yes,
parts.
yes,
That was
yes.
pretty sick.
Well, that's what's great about that song is whoever they're on tour with, they
Mm-hmm.
usually get the that person to come out.
That's actually one of my favorite Maynard vocals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't it?
ever.
Yeah, isn't it?
Great.
He sings his
Super
fucking
haunting.
heart out.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
good. So good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, love
Way better than the last Tool record,
that. Last two. Oh,
like what a zillion years or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Perfect
that-
circle all the way.
No.
Yeah, more than yeah.
Yeah. Oh man,
Oh,
really?
yeah.
Oh jeez, it's like that.
Tool Light.
Really?
Yeah.
That dude writes great guitar.
That
riffs,
first
Billie
album's
Holiday.
good.
The second one had a failure cover.
Yep.
It just had the song. It was just great. Just the songs are those two records I love. I think I like the second record more than the first.
Whoa. Say this for episode 13.
Point counterpoint.
Are we gonna have an episode 13? I feel like that's
Bad luck. Just go
Yeah.
right over it.
you know. Should we just invite somebody who's
Yo, it
really
should be
lucky?
something
to
Friday the
also-
13th related.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet, bro.
Yeah.
See what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I don't want to brainstorm and let people into the process. So let's continue.
Maybe we could
amazing.
try and get Shelley on from part 3. You know, he's a lawyer. He'll come on. He's fucking need the
Oh,
money.
okay.
You know?
All right. We'll put the email out. So number one,
Right. I suppose the best of all, when I think of because I love the screaming, I do like that, especially when he does it live. I love that. I guess the album that kind of encompasses it all, although not as dreamy, that dreamy sound I was talking about, it doesn't have that as much. But I would say, I guess, Around the Fur is, I guess, my.
I think me too. I
yeah,
think my
it's
number
my
one too.
favorite. Actually, I saw an interview with Chino. This is not why I'm saying this. I'm just where the guy said, if somebody didn't know the Deftones and they were trying to get into the Deftones now, what would you tell them to start with? And he said Around the Fur. So in his mind too, he thinks that's the one. And I happen to agree.
It is a good place to start.
Yeah.
It has flavors to it.
Sure.
Be Quiet and Drive.
Yeah.
That
obviously.
might be one
Yep.
of my favorite songs ever
Oh, wow.
written by anybody.
Yeah.
He co-wrote it
perfect.
with Jonah from Far.
Oh,
Is that
I
right?
did not know
He's a
that.
co-writer.
That's awesome.
Wow.
I did not know that.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
song.
It's amazing.
Lotion's on there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Around the Fur, the song itself,
Around
just
the
with that,
Fur.
just with that opening drum beat. You know?
10 really, really great songs. Probably their fastest song too. What, Ricketts?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then from there, I feel like they just kind of slowed it down.
Yeah,
And they did, like you said, the whole dreamy thing.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
effects and it's funny the dynamic between what Chino wants and what Stephen, the guitar player, want. They seem to always be at odds. Because Chino's like, I love Depeche Mode and The Cure. That's all.
And
I
the
give
other
a
guy
shit
loves
about.
metal, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they just do this back and forth.
That's a
thing.
great balance, though.
It
But
is
that's
a
why.
great
But that's why
balance.
that crosses fucking
actually,
album.
shout
you know?
out, yeah. To
Did you hear
their
that?
I love
B-sides
Crosses.
are
I
real
love
good.
Crosses. I love
So
Crosses.
good.
That's
The B-side
quite amazing.
rarities thing.
That's
that
good,
they
too.
do
Yeah.
Is their covers are great. The
Yeah.
one of If Only Tonight I Could Sleep by The Cure is fantastic. What do they do? The Chauffeur,
Smiths,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Smiths cover. Yes.
they do.
What about
They do a
the-
Sade cover.
Yeah,
too.
which is amazing.
Leonard Skinner?
Yep.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite.
They do a
bands,
helmet song.
One of my
That's a
favorite
pretty
bands,
fucking collective.
Jawbox. They do
eclectic-
Savory.
Savory.
I
is-
love
I
their
love
cover,
that. Oh, man.
Savory.
Damn.
But I mean, that's an eclectic group of people to cover, and they did them all well.
But we were talking about upstairs the first time that we saw them, and it's funny. The first time that I went to go see them, not to see them, but they were opening, was actually at the Meadowlands in Jersey, and I watched them, didn't give a shit about them, and then White Zombie went on, killed it. And then Pantera came on, and it looked like a fucking jail riot was let out. So, but then
Fucking year was that?
Deftones
that-
open for what?
Deftones opened
For White Zombie?
Yep,
And Pantera.
that was it had to be '96 because they were on the Adrenaline tour,
Yeah.
and then
White Zombie was
then
together.
Around the
Yeah,
Fur came
really.
out, and I was just like, "Yo, this shit is like real. Like I like this band." And then I went to go see them at Roseland, and Quicksand opened.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that was sick. That
would've
was
been
good.
great. But yeah, White Zombie, Low Sexorcisto, whatever. That was like '95.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then Astro Creep
Yep.
they released. Astro Creep
Yep.
2000. I think that was like '97.
Yeah.
And it was before you could sample shit and you had to like read shit and it's like, oh, this description sounds cool. I'm gonna go spend my fucking $10 on this shit.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Yeah, so I'm like Going to the Wall
Yeah,
out in
yeah.
Selden. Shout
Yeah,
out,
yeah, I
shout
love
out.
that.
You know? And because the description said disco beats with like guitars and this like the shit that was like banging in '97, like that weird fusion stuff.
Right.
I fucking buy the goddamn tape, the cassette, and it sucked. I hated it. I hate
Astro
it.
Keep?
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's one of my
Is it really?
It's one of my favorite albums. Yeah. You're talking about White Zombie Astro Creep?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do love that album, man. I think that was actually
Defend it right now to me. Convince me.
I don't know, man. What you got there?
Terry Date. Terry Date did it.
See, it's the drums, man. Right?
He's our next guest.
I think it was just again.
No,
Look at that.
I can't read.
We're on the
Handsome.
radio.
Handsome.
Oh, okay. Did he really?
Huh?
He did that record.
Brian. Wow.
No, so they were really. So I think I liked him a lot, Rob Zombie. So he was at the time. This was actually '95, I think. It was, I think 90. He said
I
'97.
think Dan Turgis had a heart attack.
Fucking tur.
Go ahead.
I think it was around
Parents
95.
for him.
No,
He was like, who?
Yeah, all right.
that went over my head.
Sure.
I thought. Oh,
Somebody listening.
okay.
Somebody.
The only guy.
Yeah.
No, so
I thought you knew him. He's
no.
I'll go into the Dan Turge story
Sure.
later on.
No, when White Zombie came out, it was '95, and again, that was around the time I was starting to get into death metal. But his album, when I did buy it, because I think it was a blind buy. Oh no, I like the stuff on the radio.
Lost Exorcist.
No, More Human than Human. Yeah, that was his. That was the radio one.
That was
So I would like wait on the radio, waiting to record it on the tape. You know,
Nice.
you put the tape. So, but when the album came in, I bought it, and they had a lot of like they would use samples.
Yep.
You know, yeah. So the
They did, yeah.
carving the X in the head. Do you remember that one? They
Yeah.
would talk about that was a Charles Manson thing.
Right.
So he referenced Charles Manson a lot. By that point, that's what got me into serial killers, which is then what got me into going to school for psychology. So yeah, there's Rob Zombie is sort of I do have a.
and I respect it.
No, I know,
this
I know
is
you,
like-
I know you're lying, but
I love the first White Zombie record. I was all about Sean Yzult, first of all. The
There you
bass
go.
player. Come on.
no,
Love
I
Ted.
know a lot of people don't like Rob.
No, it's not even that.
Yeah.
But that
it's-
band
it's-
had groove.
Oh, yeah.
They were groove like metal. Good
Yeah, yeah.
shit. That's why I didn't. When he got very industrially, I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
right.
don't
I
need-
did- yeah,
you
yeah.
guys had groove already.
Right,
You just
right,
gotta
right.
Swing to it. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Oh, that's
Like,
a good point. That's a good point.
But he's, you know,
That's the dog. Don't worry.
okay. he's like legit to your story and your influences.
Right, exactly.
So it's like, who the fuck am I to tell you that?
Right,
he
right.
sucks. It's like
Right.
everything you just said from that.
It's
everything-
unlistenable after that, though. I can't listen to White Zombie
and
after
the
that,
art
though. I mean,
too.
yeah,
Did you
he,
go-
he was
all
an
that-
art student.
Yeah.
The whole look and the
Yeah.
stuff.
Do you
must
remember
have
when
all
he was
appealed.
painting on
Headbangers Ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
sweet. I
Oh, he
did not see
painted the
that.
backdrop.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
I will YouTube that later.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
I will-
He was friends with Ricky Rackman, right?
Yeah.
And he said he was like milking it. It took him forever
Yeah.
because it was before like he was anybody. Obviously,
Right.
he was.
So he got to be on the show for like
Oh, that's
weeks and
awesome.
weeks.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
He actually, I just did a design for, I guess I could say because they released an email, but Fright Rags is doing a House of a Thousand Corpses design. So
okay.
I had to do a design, and it had to get approved by him. So that was,
Really?
that was really, it was like my heart was pounding. But yeah, he approved it. He liked it. So
That's cool shit.
Yeah, it was really cool. It comes
That's-
out next
that's-
Friday. So yeah,
awesome.
I'll show
Really?
it to you. Yeah, show it to you. I have it on my,
Fuck,
I have it on my phone. Yeah.
This guy's flossing. on us right now.
Yeah, man.
God,
So
This guy knows a million
Dropping that
takedown moves, but it ain't no fucking White Zombie, man. You know?
did you go backwards on White Zombie?
Yeah. Well, what do you mean backward?
I'm
Meaning,
saying like after you got Astro Creep, did you?
like Thunder.
Yeah.
Was it, pretty much my love with White Zombie ended at Astro Creep. I do like the first album, whatever that's.
Lost Exorcist.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that was
That's
volume
good.
2.
Right.
There was
Yeah.
volume 1 and 2.
Oh,
The one
okay.
with Blue Sunshine and
Yeah.
Thunder
Black
Kiss.
Sunshine.
Black, yeah.
Blue
Yeah.
Sunshine and Iggy
Yeah.
Pop and
Yeah.
the intro and shit.
But their new stuff is good for like strip joints or something.
Yeah.
Like
They
it's-
made
yeah,
an EP. I had it. American made music to strip by.
Is that-
There you go.
That was
Is
all
that
like
right?
slightly industrial
That's amazing.
remixes
Yeah,
of the songs from the
that's
first
amazing.
album, and they totally
Oh, then that's what. Yeah. That.
would be heard in a strip
Yeah,
club. They were
that's-
designed for it.
Oh, was that
Yeah.
with the girl sitting in the wine glass or the martini glass?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
a six
Okay.
or
Oh,
six
shit.
or 8 song
That
EP
makes sense.
maybe or
Yeah.
something like that.
I mean, yeah, I always hear his like Dragula. That's always played at like industrial whatever like strip clubs. But I don't really like Rob's the music too much. But that album has a special place.
All right, we're going to get back to him in a second, but listening to Sarah right now upstairs reminded me. She actually hit Mrs. Sarah Parker.
Oh, I thought she'd miss it.
She's a huge.
My mother emailed you.
She's got a Deftones list.
Yeah.
So this is Sarah's.
That loud, crazy music, Brian.
I thought it would be fun to get.
I love White Pony.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be fun to get Sarah's Deftones list because she's a huge fan. Yes. So we're going from least to favorite. So she has White Pony
as the least.
As the least.
Bullshit. With divorce, that's it.
That's rough.
Then she has Adrenaline.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Then she got the self-titled. Okay. Around the Fur.
Oh my God.
Yeah. She's.
Did you hear this? Before? Is this
separate bedrooms, man. Separate bedrooms.
The look of shock on your face.
It's amazing.
And then from there, she went with Diamond Eyes. Okay. So now,
take a picture of this guy's face.
My God.
we got the top three. So number 3, she has Saturday Night Wrist. Number 2, she has Gore, which is the last record.
Yeah, she loves that one.
And her number 1 favorite Deftones album is my favorite, which is Koi no Yokan.
Oh, okay. All right.
Nice, solid there.
See that? See how different it is?
Yeah.
I was trying to get.
She's still awake when we get done. I have to ask her about
Yeah.
Pony, though.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask her to read it because I don't think we've ever had a female voice on the show.
No.
So I was like, oh, but she wasn't here, so
Yeah.
I had to read it for her. I should have read it in like her voice. So I could, like,
Amazing.
something, you know. But okay, so we got everything out of the way. Actually, yeah, the Rob Zombie thing.
Yeah.
What do you think about the movies? Since you're such a huge fan,
You're fans of his movies? You like?
I like the
No.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the first 2.
I want to hear.
Sure.
I want to hear
Yeah.
you.
When I first saw House of a Thousand Corpses, his first movie, I was in Texas. I watched it on a 13-inch TV, very small. That movie's not meant for a 13-inch TV.
Definitely not.
No. So I hated it. I watched it again. I hated it, and I watched it again, and I hated it, and I watched it 4 times, and I hated it. I had nothing to do in Texas. I met a girl online.
And one DVD in your possession.
Yeah.
What are we gonna watch tonight?
I guess we're gonna watch it a 5th time.
Well, yeah, pretty much. I met a girl online.
House
I
of
went to
1,000 plays of that movie.
But that's what it was. She would go to work, and I was just there. I had nothing to do, so we had rented that movie. We had it for a couple of days, and I kept watching it over and over again.
So 4, and then you didn't like it.
It was the 5th time I watched it.
Damn.
Yeah, it was the 5th time I watched it, and all of a sudden I was like,
Academy Award.
I said, you know what? This isn't.
Maybe that was my problem with Lords of Salem. I didn't watch it 5 times.
Well, yeah. Sometimes. Well, the first time I saw
God
it, I was
bless
like,
you.
yeah. I was like, oh, this is like such a cheesy Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoff. Like, come on now. But then by the 5th time, I was just like, dude, man, the way it's lit, like the lighting, and whether you like it or not,
It's gorgeous. I think it's
man.
I think it's fantastic. Just visually, the guy has a great fucking eye.
Yeah.
It looks like
Say
this
what you
thing.
want about his films.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, he leans a lot on like Lords of Salem is completely like a Kubrick
Oh, absolutely.
rip off.
Yeah.
But he pays, or you can call it paying homage. Like Tarantino, it's called paying homage. He's a rip off. But things are lacking in story. But yeah, he has a good eye for a shot.
Great eye
totally.
for a shot. The soundtracks are usually pretty good. Nice left field stuff like a Tarantino
Right.
movie. I thought the first one, even though you could say Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but once I accepted that and I said this is the first time director doing his thing, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah,
It was
man.
cool. It wasn't like anything crazy. It wasn't any better or worse than any other thing.
I thought it was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah,
It was fun. And he was, as a metalhead, I'm like, one of us is, and he clearly, he loves horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't love his films, but he loves fucking horror movies.
And I like
he
that.
loves the whole history of it. He uses old
The guys that he cast.
legendary
Yeah.
actors
Yeah, you're
that
right,
haven't worked in a while.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see somebody doing it.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, it took a long time.
Yeah,
to
it was a
put
whole.
together.
that took
and whenever
forever
that
to come out.
happens, that usually the film suffers.
Yeah. Oh,
You
it was,
know.
And then what do you think of his second movie?
with Devil's Rejects.
Yes.
I actually that was a hard one to get through. I don't like what's the term?
Bill Moseley?
No, I love him. I don't like gratuitous stuff. Like remember that rape scene? Not the rape scene, but in the hotel with the gun and the panties.
Yeah.
And I don't like that stuff. So I was just like, yeah, you know what? It's a little rough for me. So I turned it off. And then I watched it 46 times. No. No. And then I did finish it, and I liked it. It was cool. It just, it was really good. It was definitely for a little bit there. I liked it better than the first one. But going back now, I like. So if House of a Thousand Corpses is I'm sorry, if those two movies are really celebrating Spalding, Otis, and the baby. To me, House of a Thousand Corpses has like so much more, which is actually what I did the T-shirts on. You'll see for Fright Rags. There's just so much more going on in that house, like the zombies in the pit. I don't know if you remember that.
Yep.
There's that. There's Dr. Satan. So it's like a bigger thing. All sorts of stuff going on there. But no, Devil's Rejects was absolutely brilliant, and it probably is, I guess, considered the superior film. I don't think so.
I
but
definitely have things to say about that movie later, probably.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a step up in the right direction, and no matter how you feel, I mean, his career in film is on such a downward.
Yeah.
It's
downward,
it's
like
free falling.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't made anything watchable in how long? Lords of Salem. I watched that. What was it? 31.
I didn't even get a chance.
Everyone told me
It's
it's
okay.
bad, but sometimes that happens, and I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'll fucking decide.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow,
You have to decide for
it's
yourself.
fucking
That's
awful.
rough.
Really bad.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I
Really?
said about that movie.
I didn't love it. I didn't mind it.
Yeah,
Did you saw all his films, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I had said an analogy that I had used. People got a kick out. I said, 31 is like when you have, when you're running low on marinara sauce in the jar, so you fill it up with water and you shake it up, and then you have marinara. So it's sort of like he was just using. You've all seen these like dirty, disgusting characters.
Yeah.
It was just like basically a regurgitated of all his films, basically.
That's a good way to put it.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is actually exactly what it was. It was like every little bit of that stuff.
It wasn't his money.
That
so.
tells me the wells run dry.
Yeah.
Almost,
But I mean,
it's probably still not as bad as Halloween 2.
I'm not even.
I forgot those.
See,
That is easily one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
And it's like fucking 3 hours long too. It's so
it's
long.
I
Yeah.
went and saw that at Island 16, where they have a bar.
Yeah.
When I had drinks back in the day, and we all did a bunch of Jaeger shots and stuff. So we were feeling good.
Wow.
Is it okay that?
Oh yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So
we're not pussies here.
So we were in a good mood, and like watching it, and about like halfway through, me and my wife look at each other like,
Yeah.
Is it me? This is the worst fucking thing. And then, that white horse came out. And I was like, that's it. And my wife, Spanish girl from Queens, is the expert of, doesn't matter how long the movie's been going on, she will get the fucking money back. She will walk up there. They will give up.
Excuse
you
me.
watched an hour and 15 minutes. I don't give a fuck. Like, they would just give up the dough and we bounce.
Nice.
That's
Like,
Never
shut her
walk
up,
out.
give her
of
money.
it. I walked out of that and Boogeyman, I think. That was like the only two flicks I walked
Oh, I
out.
never saw that.
Wait, you walked out of Halloween?
Halloween 2, yeah.
You walked out? Wow.
I had to.
Holy
I walked
shit.
out of Batman and Robin.
Okay, yeah.
That was fucking horrible too. When Schwarzenegger
That's
fucking.
Oh, yes.
Come on, chill out.
Who was Robin? That was
Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Was that the one
That
with
was
Alicia
bad.
Silverstone
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a trifecta.
When like the
bad.
BAM and the POW and shit started coming out, like the old school
Bam.
shit. Yeah.
Right. All right. Yeah. So we're gonna take a quick break here. We're gonna, I guess, all share a toilet and
Go yell at my wife for her Deftones selections.
4 penis.
Yeah, we gotta
4
ask her
penises,
what's
1
up with-
flush. That's the goal.
Everybody at once. What's up with White Pony? What do you have against it?
We'll be back. Hello. I always say the same fucking shit every time I play it back like later on. It's always like hello.
It's a catchphrase.
Not really.
Change it now.
It's like AIDS catchphrase. I'll edit that motherfucker out. That fucking hello is terrible. But
It's very
yeah,
eerie.
You can drop
I
it
don't know
down
about
there,
eerie.
so it's like hello.
if it was eerie, I would leave it because I'm like, oh, listen to that eerie hello. But it's fucking yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
You want me to take over?
Yeah.
that part?
Yeah. Yo, bring us in.
I can't just do it now.
No, you got to do it.
Hello.
Perfect.
All right, we're back.
So creepy.
You rang.
So, Brian told us that he walked out of Halloween 2,
Nah.
and fucking rightfully so.
Mm.
That was a stinking piece of fucking shit.
Yes.
Not because I hate Rob Zombie, because I don't. It was just a terrible fucking movie. On top of the fact that Halloween is my favorite. Like, Halloween 1 and 2.
The originals.
Yeah, man. If you're going to remake them, for me, you needed to, like... It's just impossible. It
You
would have
must
been
think
impossible.
pretty fucking high of yourself to think that you're going to take one of the most beloved movies in the history of
Yeah.
horror and make it better somehow. And I'll give him credit for taking a different angle, okay? But then it's like 2 movies, and then all of a sudden he just does a shot-for-shot like remake of the first one.
I just don't
right.
care about
And
the
why?
backstory.
Why?
I don't
Yeah.
care about
Right.
the backstory. I don't care about the Michael as a little kid with a stripper mom,
Right.
and
Right.
he's crying,
Yes.
and then he looks like somebody from Slipknot later on. You know, what I love about the original Halloween is just Michael just was.
Yeah.
You know, by the time they got to that mental institution, you know, whatever, Smith's Grove, right?
Yeah.
He was just some lunatic in a fucking hospital gown you don't know shit about.
But have you ever read the book, the novel? Back
No.
in the book actually goes into a little bit of him.
Next time I do a bid, though.
There you go. There you go.
Is that an eBay thing?
Nah.
Oh, okay, sorry. I don't know.
I
Oh,
wish.
Sorry. The book when it was written.
Some Long Island trash shit.
No, but the book when it was written, accompanying the movie, the original movie, went into a little bit of the Michael Myers backstory. So it actually, there were scenes of him as a kid in the hospital.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And like he would like play pranks on the other kids, like poison them and stuff like
Stab
that.
them.
Yeah, like he would do
Pranks?
things. He would get and like the staff was
Silly
really,
kids.
yeah, pants them wedgies.
You would have tackled that motherfucker, right? Back in the day?
Skip 'em.
Mark would have skipped him.
Yeah. But it was cool. So even the book back then in 1979.
But I
8.
feel like a book could just do more with it. It could just.
Well, you have
Yeah.
a lot more freedom to get
Right.
backstory.
Yeah.
Whereas suppose you're cutting it into an hour and 20-minute
Right.
piece, you know? But
yeah.
did they explain how he learned how to drive?
They did not, but
'Cause that's one of my mysteries.
that-
How
no,
the fuck did he drive that car away?
But they actually do give away, if you would like to hear, they do give away as to why he does what he does. I mean,
Whoa.
the mythos of what he does.
Tell us, because we're not going to read
yeah.
it.
No, you should totally if you like to.
Exclusive.
Because
Exclusive.
coming right now.
Yo, straight from
one that-
1971.
the one that read the book, the only one that read the book.
Yeah, I was like, we're
Yeah.
definitely- we're not going to read it.
You
so.
should read. You don't like to.
Books on tape all the way. That's it.
Yo,
That's it.
we keep it mad ignorant here.
I do read,
No, it's,
You do?
but I'm just not going to.
You're not. You know, you're not going to read the book.
I like to read rock biographies.
Right. Okay. All
I don't
right.
read a lot of fiction.
Fiction,
So
all
you
right.
can spoil this for me.
All right.
I'd like to know.
The idea was, this is how the book starts. The book is written in 1979. I mean, it, again, accompanied the movie. Maybe 1980. When's the movie?
78.
So maybe it was written
Who wrote the
79.
book?
That I don't know. It wasn't written by John Carpenter.
no,
So it was just.
okay.
But basically, it's this thing in Ireland. This the story takes place in like the 1400s or something like that, and this druid priest, his daughter is swooning over this guy, whatever, and this like I won't use that word. This guy is really into the druid priest's daughter, and he stalks her, and he doesn't like the fact that she doesn't like him. She likes this other guy, and out of a jealous rage, he kills her. So the druid priest basically puts a curse on the guy who killed his daughter, basically, condemning his bloodline. The idea is that Michael Myers comes from that,
I was about to say, is this still Halloween you're talking about? Holy
yeah,
shit.
yeah, totally.
They went way back.
Yeah.
Talk about a prequel.
Yeah. So yeah, the idea is that because a lot of Halloween, if you, is from the Gaelic, a lot of that Ireland.
Don't use that word either. But
So how come his sister wasn't cursed?
The sister wasn't
The
cursed.
same bloodline.
No, the sister wasn't cursed because the person that was cursed. Wait, who the fuck was cursed?
yeah, didn't he have to always kill his sister?
Yeah, that's what the idea was that the
Family
was
had to be fucked for like 500 years.
Yeah.
She had to be kind of cursed completely. And
I have to read it again. Shit.
number 6, they tried to
Yes, right. Yes.
Tried to bring that in.
Yeah,
They
the
did
druid stuff
druid
with
stuff.
the stones and all
Shit,
that.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
the
Thor.
thorn.
Yeah.
6 was
Paul
which
Rudd?
Paul Rudd, baby.
Paul Rudd,
one?
yeah.
Oh, yes.
And the mom from Better Off Dead.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
How about that?
You like raisins.
How about how about
It's
that?
got raisins in it.
She was cooking Cthulhu.
Oh my god.
But I always appreciated 6. Maybe because 5 was such an abortion.
Can't use that word either.
I will say that. I don't give a fuck.
The
You know?
Gaelic abortion.
I was an abortion. So fuck.
There you go.
Damn the FCC.
But there was something to that story. I liked it. Maybe because they were trying to explain it in some way, and the director had such a mess to
Clean up.
to basically make a sequel out of it. It's like, all right, well, where do you go? Yeah, because they threw the cowboy guy in number 5.
The black the cowboy guy. Yeah.
Well, whatever he was.
They just piled on mess after mess
Right.
after mess after that.
Yeah.
It's
But
like
I think
America.
I think they didn't really even have a reason for it in number 5. He was just
The guy with the jingly shoes?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Who the fuck was that guy?
the jingly shoes.
Right?
Yeah.
exactly.
They never showed him. He just had a shotgun.
Yeah.
That's
No,
all
Yeah.
we know.
Right.
They did in part 6. You see who he
Right.
was,
Right.
but I don't think in 5. I think the director of 6 somehow managed to salvage some kind of story out of it.
Yeah, I wonder
using-
if the guy if they knew who in 5 who he would be. Like I wonder, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like did they think that far?
I bet a lot of shit was cut on the cutting room floor. I'm sure none of the who was directing all those movies afterwards. It was probably
Alan
just the
Smithy.
studio being like, take that out,
Yeah.
take that out. I don't want that shit in.
Yep.
Blah blah blah. And they were just
That's
like,
how they
cut
got
it
the
together,
producer's cut.
Get it out by October.
Right? Yeah,
Huh?
there's a yeah. Have you seen the producer's cut?
Yes.
Okay, so you
It's in the H section. over
There you
there.
go.
fucking rapes his Michael Myers rapes the Danielle Harris character.
Yeah.
yeah.
Does she?
What you talking about?
And the first Rob Zombie's Halloween.
No, in
first
number
one.
6.
He
Oh.
well, he throws her against a thing.
I don't remember
right? Is that
that
what you mean?
part.
He doesn't touch her.
No.
Oh well, yeah, he impregnates her, right?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Correct.
Shit.
We don't.
I mean,
I gotta go back and watch this.
Yeah,
I don't
one.
know. I don't know if it was
remember this shit.
consensual. Maybe I'm assuming rape, but it looked
Right off. I mean,
Can't say that word either.
you're right. Right. She's pregnant in the
Absolutely.
beginning. Right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
And that's
definitely.
his kid. Got it.
very weird, very strange. And that's the movie where Donald Pleasance
Was he naked?
I don't know. I have I don't know.
Just took the zipper down.
Full frontal.
Easy access.
Yeah. And then Donald Pleasance dies before
Yeah.
they make the ending of that movie,
Yeah, that
which
scream. huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
made it even stranger.
He was insane in that movie.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
I love Donald Pleasance. I'm
yeah.
not saying it in a bad way.
No,
because
That's what the whole budget
when
went for the
he's
first one.
unhinged,
Yeah.
I
Was to
love
play
it.
him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. To
Yeah.
get him.
Yeah, he's always and then 7 really just took a strange turn.
Was that Busta?
No, H2O, right? H2O.
Yeah, 7 tried to get the
H2O.
reins back and stuff. I like 7 for
You
what
do?
it
Me
was.
too.
Wow, you do.
H2O. I do not mind H2O. I'll take that over Resurrection. Fucking any day.
To me, didn't it feel like a WB kind of
Yes.
Dawson's Creek?
Yeah.
Yeah,
kinda, right?
a little bit.
You know.
Little
Well, I
bit.
think they took advantage of it seemed like the time really.
Yes.
And the cast,
exactly
Josh
what
Hartnett,
Yeah,
Yep.
that's exactly what they did.
the school and stuff. So
Yeah, I tapped out.
LL.
I think on a lot of the
yeah,
You didn't see that?
sequels. I've seen them, but they just
no-
I never.
no
I didn't
memory.
watch them 4 times. I didn't make it. That
You never lived in Texas.
we had one video store. I had one tape.
well, his parents owned a 7-Eleven that had a video store, right?
Yeah, it was called Movie Quick. It was one of the worst experiments in convenience store history. everyone would rent a movie and be like, "Fuck, I'm not returning that shit." My dad would have to go to their house and like look for him and
That's
shit.
amazing.
Really?
But all it had was like, "I Spit on Your Grave," Frankenhooker, Dawn of the Dead.
That's amazing.
So in the summertime, I probably told this already, but you weren't here. But you know, when no one could watch me, my dad would have to take me to work, and he had a little black and white television that, you know, I would just watch these fucking
amazing.
movies over and over and over again.
So
My
they
mom-
ran a mom and pa?
You know, you buy in like a franchise
Sure,
and
sure.
a corporation. It's
That's
it's
amazing.
a big pain in the ass and shit. But that it didn't last. It lasted maybe 2 years, but I saw every shitty horror movie.
Oh, that's perfect.
I mean, gloriously shitty horror movie.
What was
B-rate.
like? How many movies did you guys have like in total? Like, was it
At
just,
any given time? If it would be like one aisle
Yeah.
essentially, and there's probably like 120 titles, maybe.
That's a lot.
That's
It was all like if I had the list of the titles, they were all the ones that are endearingly old 80s comedies.
Yeah.
All those teen sex comedies, all the Porky's shit,
Yeah.
all the fraternity vacations, plus the horror, just all the greatest shit.
Yeah.
Like, so, and I watched every single one of them.
Do you guys, not to cut you off,
No,
but
go
do,
ahead.
do you all
Please
know? You might know 112. 112.
Oh,
Videos?
yeah, that's
Still
by
open
where he
now.
is. Yeah,
We went
place
there
is
not
awesome.
long ago.
Oh, that is the greatest place.
Yeah.
Do you know 112?
They're
Have you
hanging
been
in there.
I lived.
Yeah.
I used to live like not too long ago, like down the
Oh,
road. from
I
it, yeah.
don't know how they
Still, yeah.
in
I
business.
Yeah.
I said, I told the guy, I think Rick is his name. I said you should get rid of most of your selection and turn the rest of it into a cafe / coffee. You know, show movies, have a cafe, pizzeria kind of thing, and then half of it, you know, make it like a thing,
Right.
an event.
An event.
That's a
But
great
nobody's
idea.
nobody wants to go to Patch Hog though. That's the thing. It's if that would do
Knock
really
the
well.
porno room out
Yeah.
behind the green door.
Exactly.
The green
Yeah,
door.
yeah.
See,
Who
that's
the fuck?
that's
That's
amazing.
the first thing I said. I'm like, this is
Still.
the glorious days of porn
Yeah.
that we're in, that we dreamed about as kids, where you just had this device that
Yeah.
you could click.
Oh, it's
You didn't have to hide magazine. Have to find Woods porn. You know, when you'd walk around, you'd find some dirty
Yeah,
magazines
yeah,
that
yeah.
some, and you
Yeah.
had no idea how they got there. That's all gone.
Woods porn.
And yet some guy still got to like
Yeah,
all slyly walk behind the green door and walk out with his, you know, like
it's amazing.
clean shaven part 6, put it on the counter. Like, those people are still there.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same guy who's calling up a radio station asking them to play a song.
That's right.
Could you play Stairway to Heaven while I masturbate?
I haven't heard "Stairway to Heaven" in about 5 minutes.
That's awesome.
But it's that same guy. There's still like those holdovers, like my mom somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, not saying she's masturbating somewhere.
Clean shaven.
I mean, I went in that room. It was an impressive selection.
In the 112s
yeah,
porno?
big
Really?
box fucking
Yeah.
DVD. I don't
It's
know why the
amazing.
DVD's in a big box. But,
It's amazing.
It's really
Probably to entice.
It's really not environmentally correct because you could just get a smaller box for that. But
Yes.
anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, and there'd be a creepy guy in there, looking like straight ahead and like
Mm-hmm.
not trying to wonder who else is in here.
He turned around to you. He was like, "Flip phone, man, flip phone."
And like
That's-
usually, like you're with a girl, like, and because you're laughing at it and shit,
Yeah.
he's in there doing serious business, and he feels all embarrassed and shit. Like, fucking
That's actually
broke my
right behind you, Mark. That's the
concentration.
last case that I kept from the first mom and pop I ever went to.
Oh, really? That's brilliant.
Where's that from?
That's it was this place called Adam and Eve Video. They were in Massapequa.
Oh, yeah, I know it. Yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool. Ah, man, makes me sick.
And that place was awesome because I used to go in there and they used to have all the fucking horror posters up, and somehow I became friendly with like the guy that owned it, or my parents did, and blah blah blah. And he was like, "I see you looking at this, this shocker poster, or this, people under that's back behind me." And he's
Horace
like,
Pinker.
he's like, "If you really want that," he goes, "I can put your name up there, and when the movie gets old, I'll roll it up and you can take it home." I was like, "Fuck yeah,
that's so
man!"
cool, man.
And the same place that I also rented Weird Al's UHF from, he goes, "Hey, you like that? You like that Weird Al Yankovic?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he's kind of funny or whatever." He goes, "Watch this movie. It was like a screener copy. Remember when they used to have those?"
Clean shaven.
So yeah, so I go to bring it back, and I was like, "Thanks for letting me borrow this. Here's the movie back." He goes, "I don't want that fucking piece of shit." He goes, "That movie sucked, man."
It's amazing.
piece of shit.
That movie got a cult following. After
Oh
a
yeah,
while.
the movie was great. Conan the Librarian and shit.
Yeah.
Shit
It
was
wasn't
awesome.
immediately beloved.
I don't
But
think. Yeah.
what 112 Video, I told the guy that owns that to get shirts made up. I went in there. I was like, "Yo," I was like, "Do you have shirts?" And he's like, "No, that's a great idea." He goes, "What kind of what movie should I get?" And I was like, "No, a fucking shirt with 112 video on it, asshole." I was like, "I'd buy one."
Yeah, he's not the best at marketing.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't have to call me an asshole.
Get behind that green door.
I think I definitely just turned off right now.
Not tear involved.
Fuck this podcast. I actually want to have like a TV show of that store and just basically put a camera in there and have everyone that walks in to tell him what he should do with his business.
You know what you're missing?
That's amazing. That is really.
That's gonna be my show. It's gonna be on the.
It's true, man. This is the first thing I said to him was, "You know what you should do."
Parker did too.
I did.
Probably he rolls his eye. He's probably got the same eye roll.
Oh shit! Here
What
comes
should I do?
Here comes another one. Wearing a T-shirt that says
I'm
that.
gonna put please tell me what we should do.
So, did you going back to Marc? Because, I want to talk about your artwork.
Oh, sweet.
I was flipping through some of it, and did you do the barn?
Yeah, the barn. Yeah, for sure.
That's a great cover too.
That's a
Thanks,
great
man.
cover, and it's
Thank
what
you.
really made me want to watch the
Yeah.
fucking
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
Thank you.
Because I was waiting for it for a while. Like I think like a year.
You saw the barn.
I saw the barn.
Yeah. Would you?
What did I think? I think that it definitely, obviously, was a low budget flick, but I think it did the best it could with that budget.
Right.
I thought the kills were great, and it was what it was. It was just like a throwback 80s movie.
Yeah.
But that poster really was like...
Yeah, that was awesome because the poster, again, he was like another one of these guys who was just like, do your thing. So, because it was Halloween related, so I really wanted to get into it. I spent way too much time on it, but in the end, it was totally worth it. I was having a field day with it. But what was cool about it is, was it William Rocky Gray? He's the drummer of Evanescence.
Wow.
So, so they're no longer a thing. But he had saw the poster somehow. I guess he's a big horror fan. So he contacted the director. He's like, oh, I saw the poster. I'd love to, get involved. He ended up doing the soundtrack, which is amazing. Then this company called Lunaris Records, they loved the soundtrack to the barn so much that they decided to put it on vinyl. So it's this like beautiful looking orange vinyl record. And now this guy William Rocky Gray, he's now doing his own film, and the director of the barn is now working. But it was cool because it all kind of stemmed from the poster. So and that was kind of
the poster and what I love about it, regardless if I love a film or love a record, is just as long as it's like genuine fans doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like if you're a fan of horror or a fan of certain things, it's just like, man, that comes across so much,
Thank you.
And like you said, it just like ping pongs. It's
yes,
like you make
yes,
that flyer, this guy sees it.
Yeah, that's what art, because I always look at it, the art is, people don't realize it, it's, I guess I'm in advertising, right? Because that's what it is. Mm-hmm. It's advertising for the film. I've gotten people who wanted to hire me, and my rates they used to be, like I said, I asked a guy for $100. He said, go fuck yourself. And how about 70? Yeah, exactly. But now they are what they are, and but when they try to tell me they try to counteract it with something really low or something like that, I say I just can't do that, man. But so then I'll see them, they'll do their own thing or they'll hire someone else, and it's fucking terrible. And as a result, they don't. Mm-hmm. It's like you're going to spend all this money on actors and food. You got to pay, feed your food, feed your actors, and location, and just the whole production. But then when it comes to advertising, you don't want to spend any money on it, and now nobody gives a shit. So,
and I think with horror too, like seasoned horror fans can tell from the cover. But I'll give this a chance or I won't.
Yeah, you're
right. Exactly.
You can pick out a stinker.
Totally.
You are on the front line now. The way we would look through those video stores, what you're doing.
You're saying I am the front line?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
You're
That's
on the
awesome.
front line because there's so many movies, there's so many TV shows, there's so many videos, there's so many things out right now.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming. On my phone, there's just
right.
constant
It's too much.
shit
It's too much.
that it takes someone, who was an ex-psychologist.
Huh.
Apparently, who the fuck is this guy, man?
Right.
Unbelievable.
It's amazing.
To make something like the barn, like it's like the ultimate appetizer that it makes you look. You're like, oh shit.
Right,
Well, I
right,
think
right.
that going back to that artwork and relating it to music, because you remember the age of vinyl with
Yeah.
this huge cover,
Yeah,
and you'd
man.
look at it
Ah,
while it was
so good.
playing and stuff, and
Yeah.
these beautiful posters that's drawing you in to see the film. Because a lot of times it's just this little box on your iPhone
Yeah.
or whatever, and some of the attention isn't put into that stuff. So
Right.
when we see something like yours,
Yeah.
it grabs you.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Let me ask you a little bit about the process too. Like if somebody contracts you for, and it could be different every time. Do you get like a treatment of what the film's about? Has the film already been shot and you see something, so you get ideas? Like,
yeah,
how do you?
it's all different. Like sometimes for me, I like when they just give me a little gist of it, and I kind of throw some ideas because I have ideas constantly in my head of what I'd like to do, and I'm just waiting for the movie that I could kind of, apply that to. No, sometimes they'll give me a script to read. Sometimes they'll give me a movie to read, to watch. I'll watch it and fast forward. No, and I'll no.
1.5 speed on
Right.
PlayStation 3, baby.
Exactly.
My best friend.
Exactly. And or sometimes they'll just come to my best clients are the ones that say, "I'd love to see what you could, do." Like Waxwork Records, those guys that did Day of the Dead record that's up there. They're great. They just they say, give me some comps and I'll just I can't draw. I'm not a traditional illustrator. I cannot draw to save my life. Everything that you see is all it's what's called photograph manipulation. So I'll take photographs of my brother, my hand, my wife.
Man, that's outrageous.
Yeah, it's all photographs, and then I digitally paint over it. My wife calls it painting by numbers. It's not very nice. No, but yeah, I mean,
How the fuck do you do that? Is that like with a mouse?
it's so I have something called it's called a Cintiq. It's a Wacom Cintiq. It was basically it's like two monitors. I have my computer monitor and then this monitor where I could actually physically draw on it with a pen. So the monitor becomes piece. It's like the pen, digital pen.
Yeah.
And I could actually physically draw on it. So I'm just teaching myself. Like I said, I don't have any.
How different was it from 2007?
In 2007, I didn't know what it was.
But I'm saying technology-wise.
Well, I didn't have that. I was using something else, and I was using like a mouse. I was using so it's I bought this thing that I still don't think I'm worthy enough. That's just, I guess, every artist, and I think musicians can be like that too. They just right. So they just doubt.
Even when I edit this podcast, remember I was telling you guys,
yeah.
like I was just like, I
Agonizing.
fucking like, I'm like at 2 a.m. yesterday. I'm like editing last episode. I'm just like, oh fuck, man. I'm like, I don't even know why I asked this question. It just makes no fucking sense. But it's torture.
Yeah, right.
It's torture.
yeah.
We just released a record last week or 2 weeks ago, my band, and like I don't listen to it because I remember liking it.
That's right.
So if I listen to it on some random day, I might just be like, I don't like it today. I don't want to fuck with it.
That's amazing.
So it's like,
with your music.
yeah.
That's amazing.
So
Happens every day. I go through depression every day about. It's true. It sucks. I hate that, but it's true. It is what it is. But where was I going with this? But
you were. I was just basically asking you that, like, the difference in technology.
Oh, yeah,
now,
yeah.
Is it super? Is it easier now?
now it's So I bought this thing on eBay. I was like, oh, I don't deserve to own this thing because it was an expensive thing. It was when I was making money. It was like this instrument or this device that I bought. Was like. It was expensive, man. So I didn't think I didn't deserve it, man, because I'm not a traditional illustrator. But once I bought that, everything changed. It was like, I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I really don't. I'm just,
But you know how to do what you do.
Right,
That's
exactly.
it.
Yeah,
You know how to do what you do well.
Exactly.
That's it.
Well, I had the tattoos that I have. This guy Justin Weatherholtz. He came over one day. He commissioned me to do something for his tattoo shop. And they're considered one of the best in the world.
Kings Avenue?
Kings Avenue, yeah.
Yeah.
So when they commissioned me, I
Where
was
are they
like,
at?
in Massapequa.
Yeah, Broadway.
Broadway, yeah. he had called me and he commissioned me something, and I remember when he did that, I almost like passed out because I was like, that was a big one for me. I was like practically in tears, man. That was wow. So when he came over, we were talking about art, and he had said something like, he's not the best at what he does, but he makes it work for himself. And I was like, wow, that's I would say, even like with Chino too, I'm sure he experiences all this shit too, this self-doubt. Like, it is what it is, man. You just
care about what you're doing.
Yeah,
bottom line.
exactly. Yeah,
If you didn't care.
Like,
it
with
wouldn't
me,
bother you.
like guitar. It's like, I don't know. Like, people like, why don't you give lessons? I'm like, what are you out of your mind? I'm like, I just know how.
But you probably could, right? You probably could get.
I don't think so.
No. Okay. Okay.
You know, I mean, like, not enough where I could take money, kind of like in good fucking spirits. Like, you know, like the kid will go home like, oh, he taught me this, and it's called a G, and it's like, I mean, maybe I could do that.
Yeah.
Definitely not. But yeah, you do what you do very well, and at the end of the day, who the fuck can top that?
I mean, I guess that's the thing. I mean, it took a long time to kind of realize. Only now am I actually having. I've always been having fun, but I really did go through like a period where it was just miserable because I didn't like the attention. I don't ever want to be like. You guys know Mondo? You know the company Mondo? They're very popular.
Yep.
Nothing against them. They're awesome, but they're kind of like I guess the cool kids with the art, whatever. I don't know. I never really want to sit at the cool kids table. For me, I do what I do. I'm going to do it whether I'm getting paid or not. I just, like that music, that synth music. When I listen to it, it just puts me in a place. When I do this art, it just puts me in a nice nostalgic place. I always live in the past. I'm very nostalgic. I love reliving childhood. I don't know. Maybe I had a great childhood. I don't know, but
no. But I mean, and it seems to be working because like it comes across like you're creating stuff. You know? Like people give you a movie sometimes to watch or an idea, and it's like if you're making a living doing that,
right?
Yeah. You know, even you probably would still be doing it. Let's say it didn't work out,
right? Still be.
You'd be like. Skipping some kids, giving them some Depakotes and shit. But on the weekends, you're like,
well, that's what I was doing, right? Exactly.
Like, who needs a flyer? I got you.
Saying them in your office till the alarm went off. Exactly. Like, I got to tackle another kid.
Exactly.
I hope it's a small one. I got to get back to this piece.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's
you
totally.
You do your art to the synthwave. That's what you listen to.
I do it too. Yeah, so I have it's mostly synthwave. 80s. I have a huge 80s playlist.
Name
Tremendous.
some of those bands so people know.
80s? The
Whatever
80s?
the fuck you listen to.
Steve Winwood, Hart, Cyndi Lauper.
That's what you draw to?
Yeah,
cool,
I like that,
nice.
like that kind of stuff. All that stuff.
Let me ask you: have you ever seen Black Mirror?
Oh yeah, I'm on season 1 episode with the guy with the biking.
Okay,
that's phenomenal.
So you're not up to season 3?
No,
I'm not.
It's fucking
shit.
great.
It doesn't matter.
So
you could
good.
skip around.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
you want to talk about 80s?
Oh, that one episode?
Yeah.
Tell me.
San Junipero.
What season?
It's season 3, episode 4.
Oh, so recent.
Yeah. The last that shit was life changing. It was the best hour of TV I saw.
Really?
Last year.
That was a fun episode.
It centers around like 80s. You'll see.
I love it.
It's super. Oh my god! It's
an experience.
You're gonna watch it, and I want to know exactly.
You're gonna watch it, and you're gonna release a fucking 112 fucking T-shirt in no time, man.
Yeah, man. And some people have made art from it. I posted.
Oh, really?
It's very like it has these like fluorescent colors and stuff. Yeah,
huh.
I got to find some
What's
stuff.
Sans?
It's called San Junipero.
San Junipero. Okay.
So,
of course. I love that show, man.
I'll remind you when we leave because now we're Facebook
friends. Hit me
and
up.
It's funny.
Thank you.
I fucking friend this dude, right? And the whole time I'm thinking to myself, episode 2 of our show, where I was telling the story. I was like, I'm like, because Brian Langan friended me and I didn't know him. I'm like, I don't know this fucking guy. I'm like, I'm not into like proving people I don't know. And here I go, 8 episodes later.
Awesome.
I'm like, whatever. Let me just friend him. And he didn't approve. And I was like,
who? Me.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? I was like, I get it, man.
Are you
I
like one of
fucking
those
get it.
guys that
Well-
lets the guy hang there for a while? Like, let
No,
him think.
no.
Let him earn his way.
No,
Quickly
because-
didn't shut it down and
No.
like, let me let this fool think he can be my friend.
I-
It's like black and white with
No,
a
I-
fucking guitar covering his face.
No,
Fuck
no,
it.
I don't use Facebook. Maybe the best, especially if Facebook is my business. I use it. That's how people know me. I don't look. I probably shouldn't be doing it, but I do get very political on Facebook. I've been told not to do that.
I saw.
Yeah, so I do that, and so I'm always when I accepted people, I didn't know that you were, so I would accept people, and then
Clearly joking.
Oh, okay, you're right. And then we get
Sam's
into like
all
these
right.
fights and all this stuff. It's so yeah, that's what would happen if I didn't know the person. That it turns into like
no,
fuck
no.
you, libtard.
Yeah, no,
like
absolutely.
you know, like-
Absolutely.
yeah. It's stuff like yeah,
I'm gonna say this. Say no more, fam.
now we are friends.
All right.
Yeah, I was on your sadistic. You have a Facebook page.
Yeah,
for that,
say to
right?
start. Yeah, say to start designs.
We'll
Yep.
put that on our Facebook page. And wait till you see how much traffic you're gonna get.
There
after we
you
put
go,
it on
hey.
our group page.
Come on
Yeah,
now.
we get, we have about 10, 15 listeners.
All right now. Come on now.
Worldwide.
You know,
Guy in Ireland.
a couple of people in
I hope
Ireland.
he's still tuning in. If you check.
No, it's good.
I haven't checked our world views in a minute.
Come on, man.
All right.
Passion.
You did Beyond the Gates, the poster?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. That was yes.
That's fucking really cool.
That was awesome. Thank
because
you,
that was
man.
the only fucking part of the
Oh.
like that's what got me to watch it.
Yeah.
And Barbara Crampton, how does she still look like?
Yeah,
She
right.
is so
Yeah,
fine.
cute
Yeah.
girl.
How?
Yeah, I don't know how old is she. I have no idea. She look-
100. She just turned 100.
Yeah, she's fly.
You know?
She is. She's
Still.
super cute.
But she looks the same.
Yeah.
Some experimentation from the reanimator thing.
Maybe
Yes.
that's what it is.
Something-
Maybe she
going
got
on.
a new head. Like or something. I don't
Yo,
know.
you know what?
What?
That's not a bad theory.
That's
actually, definitely. As long as
I'll
the
run
hair.
with it. You know?
Yeah. The hair
Yeah,
is tight, though.
It's amazing.
So I'm thinking, you did Beyond the Gates.
Yeah.
What else was it? The Barn.
Mhm.
Trying to think of the shit that I saw. I still haven't seen Easter Sunday.
Do you watch these movies based
Yes.
on the posters?
Definitely Beyond the Gates and definitely The Barn.
Oh, sweet. That's awesome.
absolutely.
When
cool.
you're the feature, and I wish I remember what issue it was in Fangoria,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
I first read about your work, and
Oh,
then when
so-
you sent me the link,
Yep.
I was like, "Holy shit! I read about this guy." I remember
This
sitting here.
motherfucker got a write up on Fangoria.
It
Yeah,
was
I
a
didn't
whole
even know that.
feature.
Yeah, yeah,
kidding
yeah,
me?
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
When
You didn't know that.
That was.
I was
like
gonna-
2
I was
years
had
ago?
no idea.
I was
You,
gonna-
you missed the pre-show
Yeah,
pizza
yeah.
party, man.
I was gonna be
I-
their art director. I was gonna work for them. I turned down the gig.
Yo, fucking.
Yo. Who do you think you're talking?
Yo, tell me that shit. Fuck the Deftones. I want to hear this.
The Fangoria? That was,
Yeah, how the fuck did that
Well,
happen?
Fangoria is working here. Well, okay, so well, first of all, I'm not saying anything bad about Fangoria. I owe them a lot.
They
so
don't
I will.
listen.
It don't exist anymore anyway. Right?
Yeah.
It's cool.
They don't. Well, that's the
All
thing.
right, fuck you and your $9 a fucking magazine.
It's true. They don't. Unfortunately, they exist, but
Print- that's print magazine. You know,
it's pretty.
they're all
Look,
falling
it is
that
what it
way.
is. I mean, Playboy had to. Well, they're actually no. Playboy's back to nudity.
They went back, yeah.
They went back.
Rightfully
My
so.
God.
Yeah. So real quick, I'll give you a 20-second story. I was a psychologist. I remember I was working with those people that I really liked, but I didn't like the job.
Yeah.
So I heard if I could work for the state, I'd get better benefits, better pay, and I didn't have to. I could go to different people's houses. In other words, these individuals lived at houses, so I
like
could go to their house.
Cases, yeah.
Yeah,
So you
exactly.
drive
So I'd
around.
go to their houses, and I knew
Tackle them.
in their bedroom.
My son needs
I'll be by in 5 minutes.
my son needs some tackling.
Exactly. So they were, yeah. So, but I knew it would be super. I'd have a lot of free time, and that's exactly what it was. Little did I know how much free time I would have. If I worked 3 hours a day, that was a lot. I was supposed to be there for 8 hours, but I didn't. I would stay home and design.
As long
But
as I paid you.
yeah, well, they would have fired me on the spot if they knew what I was doing. But anyway, long story short, I had to take a civil service test. With these tests you got to take, and I studied my ass off. Really, I studied for 6 weeks every day. I took it, and I did absolutely terrible. They fired me. Yeah. So during that time, I was on unemployment, and it was like 3 days into my unemployment. Fangoria calls me, the president who I had done some stuff with before. hey, I just want to let you know we moved to Long Island and I'd like a logo, blah blah blah. If you ever want to come down and have a drink with me, blah blah blah. So
Where the fucking Long Island did they move to?
they moved to Northport.
Really?
Northport, yeah.
Did you know this?
I before.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right.
Parker used to hang out in the parking lot. You guys gonna shit you're throwing out?
Is he in there? Let me in there.
Yo,
He's
you
going
mind
through
if
the
I-
dumpsters, probably.
I was just gonna say, yo, can I go through your dumpster?
Any free shit?
But he was super nice. The president is super nice, and I hung up the phone. He said, "Oh, by the way, if you know any art directors, I'm looking to kind of rebrand the magazine. Blah blah blah. Let me know." I said, "I do not know any art directors, but thank you." So I hung up the phone with him, and I'm unemployed at this point. And I said to myself, "What is an art director?" So I looked it up on the internet. I Googled it, and I said, "Oh, I think I could do that." So I called him back. I said, "Can I be your art director?" And he said, "Have you ever done a magazine before?" I said, "No." He said, "Would you like to try?" I said, "Yes." So he gave me an opportunity to try a 40-page offset, like a sorry, my stomach, like a mini magazine thing that they were gonna do. So I met this kid. I paid him $300 to teach me how to use the program, how to make magazines. I worked maybe 15 hours a day I worked at Fangoria. The headquarters, working on this magazine. 15.
What were they doing? Just doing the magazine at the moment?
Sorry, I'm
occasional?
gonna. Are you picking
No, it's
this
not
up?
picking
You
any
picking
of
this
that.
up?
Yeah.
What would they do? It's actually at the time it was just him. It was just him and me at this office. It was just a small.
How does that work?
Just two
Like,
desks facing each other.
Yes,
in like
that's
a
exactly
empty
what it
room.
was. That's literally what it was. Two
Holy
faces,
shit.
two desks facing each other.
was that the only office that they had at the
Yep.
moment? So how the fuck? I guess people were just sending in articles. I guess they just
Yeah,
were,
it
like,
was all the
freelancers?
editor was from Canada. The was it the big Michael Gingold, he was Fangoria. He was the big voice. He was living in the city or Westchester.
There
All the
wasn't, like,
guys
a lot
were.
of staff writers, right? Like you
They
guys
had a lot of
accepted-
staff. Exactly. They had
Yeah. That girl Lacey that was in the
Okay,
horror
Lacey,
group. I
yeah.
know she sent stuff into.
Oh,
that
Lacey-
from-
Lacey Page.
Page.
Yeah, Lacey Page, right,
Oh, you
right.
know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's what Fangoria was, man. You guys could work for Fangoria. They, again, now
Really?
it's not. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, they fucking really fell.
Well, I mean,
I'd be writing that note like
Yeah.
the dude from fucking Dave Chappelle. Y'all need Bucking soda. Like, yeah, you need a comma, period. Absolutely not. I'm really good at writing Facebook statuses.
no, but while I was there, man, it was like I literally was telling him I would have literally like goosebumps the entire time. Like when I was working, I had my setup which mirrored what I had back at home. He managed to set me up the same thing. He really wanted me to work there, and the whole time I'd be working at Fangoria and be like, I can't believe, because he would be on the phone. He had been on the phone with Tom Savini. He was on the phone, I think, with one point with Rob Zombie. He would just be talking to all these people, and I would just be like, this is my childhood. It was really great, man. It was a trip. But when I whipped at this magazine for them, it was called Fantastica. It was like a 40-page Valentine's special. Sorry, and when it was done, he said, "So what do you think?" He told me what he would pay me. It was really good, and I said, I think I'm gonna see what happens with the Sadist Art Designs. Because magazine layout to me was the most fucking boring thing ever. That's all it was just it was cool because like you would get like stories from the director or like the inside scoop. They would send you like exclusive stuff.
For, like,
And that was
yeah.
from the films that before.
So you were just doing like the stuff that you see on the page.
right, which did not interest me in the fucking slightest.
You couldn't do both?
I thought I could, but no, man. It was just not at first, man. Eventually, I think I could have, but I just. Well, it's good because it fucking magazine went under, but I maybe could have gone to the point where I could have done both, maybe.
But the early stages of Sadist, you felt you probably needed to put
Exactly.
More time
I was
into
like,
it.
yeah, let's start this moment. Exactly. I didn't want to, end the momentum.
Right.
And it all worked out because unfortunately, all the people left Fangoria, and it just, man, it's just not a magazine. I mean, it still exists, but I don't know what their deal is. It's a sad thing what happened because you told me you had hundreds of Fangoria and or a lot of,
I just stopped the subscription a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Just saving money, knocking stuff off.
Yeah.
There, you know what I mean. And then you told me that what people weren't getting
Their warehouse had burnt down, I think, and so it was just a lot of stuff. They couldn't find a new publisher, and dude, man, the magazine industry is fucking dead.
Yeah, of course,
you know?
definitely.
You know,
So basically, 15 years,
it's
15 years
hard.
early, it would have been the shit
Newspaper
for you.
Right,
and
man.
magazine,
Totally.
when you can go online and get anything that happens in the world
Yeah.
instantly,
Yeah.
and they can print it instantly, whereas you would have to wait a week, a day, a month, whatever, for things to catch up. How can you compete with that?
It is super hard to compete.
You know, it'll be a niche market like vinyl collectors.
Right.
Still are. Some people I still like to hold a book when I read it. I don't like reading a book on a Kindle.
Hell
Right,
no.
right.
I don't like it
Yeah,
either.
So there'll always be that, but I think that's what it is going to be, like a niche
Yeah,
thing, and
Yeah.
they'll be expensive
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
That's
to
yeah,
produce.
that's
And
exactly
so-
that's what it was.
Yeah, because I remember, I mean, seriously, it went up in price so much.
Yeah, it's like $10, $9.99.
It was like something outrageous because I remember
store
buying
price,
one
yeah.
and I was like, wait, did this just double in price all of a sudden?
Sure.
You know, so I'm like, let me just stand here and like flip through the pictures real
Yeah.
quick till that counter dude's like,
I got the gist of it.
yeah, exactly.
that counter dude. Let me just take some pictures with my flip phone at the moment.
Exactly. Later.
You leave now. All right, man. It's cool. Rawhead Rex piece that they had in
Nice.
there, you know. I remember all that
Yeah.
stuff, man.
I remember like the bloody best of Fangoria. That's when it
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
expensive.
Right,
it was like
right,
$12
right.
bucks or something.
Yeah.
And it came with like a couple.
Warzone
yeah.
too.
Yeah, Warzone was good
Yeah.
shit.
Well, they
Warzone, yeah.
They used to have print posters up
Yep.
in the magazine. Yeah, that was I had. If they did hire me as art director, I did have ideas. I was gonna redo the whole magazine to look like it did back in the day, and I would like to have included posters and stuff like that. But now it gets more
Were
expensive.
you there when they were doing like the Monster of the Month or whatever? In the back page, they added that feature when that other guy took over, or
Oh,
because I was getting posters in it at that point. But I think a couple here and there.
Oh no. No, I was there like literally at the tail end of
At
2000.
the tail end.
Yeah,
Okay,
2000.
so my subscription had stopped at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah,
They were
yeah.
trying a lot of new things.
Yeah,
for a
that's
while.
what was.
I guess that's what
exactly.
it is. Like once you know the business is going, it's
Yeah.
you bring in
Yeah, throw it at
people.
the wall and see
Yeah.
what sticks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's gotta suck. You know, same
Yeah.
thing with music, movies.
Yeah.
It's a
like,
labor of love, meeting the
The
profit
internet.
to keep
Yeah.
it.
Do you guys still
exist.
buy your music? Y'all, you're musicians, so y'all still. Oh, you.
I do with certain,
musicians,
I
certain
pay for
artists,
it.
but I pay my $9.99
Yeah,
for
I pay my-
Spotify, and I use the fuck
yeah,
out of it.
yeah.
I pay. I listen to like the amount of music. I go to live shows constantly,
Right.
always. The amount of records, CDs that I own and stuff like that is just. Once Spotify came along and it was $10 a month,
You can't fuck with it.
my
It's-
iPod shit the bed. My
Right.
160.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking every time I moved, I'm like carrying these box of CDs, and I'm
Yeah.
looking at my iPod in my hand, going like, 10 boxes of CDs is this here?
Yeah,
I even did the thing where I got rid of like the jewel case and I just bought the books,
that's what
Oh,
I
wow.
did. Yeah.
you know, just to compress, and then from there it's just like, man, the fucking cloud, man, the
Huh.
It's
cloud.
hard to beat.
It is hard to beat.
And I feel because God, at one point I can't even tell you how many records I had. I bought it when I was younger and had expendable money. You know,
Excellent.
I'm a sole provider of a wife and child. I don't have money to spend buying like the kind of music, the amount of music that needs to feed this psycho
Needs
right here that needs music like fucking food.
Yeah.
I can't.
I used
Do
to go.
it.
Yeah, I used to
Right,
go. I
exactly,
used to on a weekly basis. I would go and buy like 10 CDs at a clip. It's like I
Easy.
want this, I want this, I want
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
And then
From
I
the catalogs.
No, just from like
Oh, just
wherever,
going to the
like
store, yeah.
stores.
Now I have to like research. Like I still buy like Enslaved is my favorite band in the world right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
I buy all their shit. I don't even have to think about it. For most of the time though, if I am gonna buy something and I want a hard copy of it permanently, I listen to that shit front and back,
Yeah,
thorough. I do my homework. Okay, this is worth buying.
Yeah.
Oh, after.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not with bands I like totally adore like
Yeah, yeah,
Enslaved, but like I want to know what I'm getting. You know?
Huh.
The internet.
Interesting.
The internet is like the best and worst thing. It is.
Yeah.
It just like everything.
Napster blew the whole shit up. Have you seen that documentary on that?
Yeah.
Downloaded? Was that what it's called?
Yeah.
I mean that's one of the big, if not the biggest thing that ever happened to music in I don't know how many
Yeah.
years. I mean, it just upended everything.
Yeah.
You know,
It did. But those record companies, it just brought it back to like the musicians. Now the musicians, they just have that avenue. It's like, oh, we'll go to Bandcamp. We're
Yeah.
going directly. Like all those labels that were giving you 15 cents for every CD that you sold, and they were keeping everything else.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Like
when
they're the ones that are like, oh shit, what do we do now?
and when
It's
you
like,
saw
nice.
what you could buy a spindle of 100 blank CDs for, you as just a consumer buying 100, and they cost like 10 cents a piece.
Yeah.
And the label was paying like a penny on it or whatever, and they were charging $18 at Best Buy and here and there. And I interned at Island Records. It was so bloated how many people worked in these departments that were not necessary, that just added on, and the artist got
assistant had
such
an
a
assistant.
small. Yeah, it was so bloated it needed to be taken down a notch, a little bit,
Yeah.
But more power needed to be the artist. I want to see people get paid, obviously. That's the most
Yeah,
important
absolutely.
thing. But the money's in merchandise and touring now. It's morphed.
It is because they transfer the bill. Like ticket prices didn't go up for no reason. Like
The bands are getting the money from them tours?
absolutely. I would imagine. I mean, listen, I'm not on tour and I'm not in a band that's playing Jones Beach.
That's what
but
it is.
They're passing that like. Tickets used to be $30. Now they're like $50 for certain things. And it's
Right.
like, okay, you downloaded our record, $50 for this ticket.
Wasn't the Deftones at that show? It was like $80.
Oh
Remember?
god, that was so fucking
a
expensive.
little
yeah.
expensive.
Some
right?
get a little crazy,
hurt.
but yeah, that's what it,
But
exactly
and-
what you said. They're
and-
getting it back that way.
They're getting it back that way, which is fine.
It is
Fuck it.
fun because I mean I remember reading. Remember Cracker had the song "Low."
We
They
can't
did
say
in the
that.
'90s. We can't say Cracker.
Boom.
I got you.
Grenade joke over there.
They reached
Exploded.
1 million plays on Spotify of the song "Low," and I think he got a check for $19.25,
They're actually coincidentally.
and was like, "That's
that's what
that's
it
all
is.
I get."
Wow.
I don't know. You brought up Cracker, and it's funny because they're playing with Soul Asylum in July.
Oh, sweet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's-
Westbury?
Everclear gonna be there?
Yeah.
Fuck him.
There's 3 Everclears, goddammit. But yeah, that price I think just gets passed on. And now what it is, it's like a touring world. So now the people that were making money off the back catalog, they were getting that mailbox money, as Everlast says. Now they got to go on tour. It's like, oh shit! It's like I have my lifestyle. It's like now I'm like, instead of touring once a year, now I got to tour 3 times a year. The Deftones are probably touring 3 times this fucking year.
right.
They
Yeah,
never
yeah.
stop.
But it's because what it is, it's just everyone's touring now.
Yeah.
And that's why you see you can't even tour by yourself anymore. Now it's like, oh, okay, you have band A, and they're like, all right, we need band B and C because it's a package, and that's how we're going to get people out.
Are they making them work for their money?
That's how
now?
Slayer does all their shit. They take the same acts out every single fucking time. Lamb
Yeah.
of God,
Again.
Slayer, and
Yeah.
then maybe rotate the Hatebreed,
Yep.
Mastodon, or whatever. Rotate the third act.
Is there any way around it though? I mean, like,
No, not at all. I'm not. We're not.
no, I'm
begrudging
just
No,
saying,
no,
like,
no.
like with the vinyl coming back, and now you see these sexy vinyls. You know the records now, they're making them different
Yes.
colors and stuff like that, and that's enticing people. And,
completely.
to
It's
buy the
back,
record.
but it's
Yeah.
still not.
It's not
It's
doing
not
it.
a game changer
No, it's
like
not a game-
so
yeah.
many people because you
I
can't
know.
beat the portability.
No,
No,
but
that
it's,
exists.
It's a game changer for maybe mid-level bands, like
Right.
hard-working bands, like
Yeah.
bands that are accustomed to a certain lifestyle, like Slayer and certain, like those guys got to just grind,
Yeah.
and they could stop doing whatever. You
But
know?
metal fans will get that vinyl.
Yeah.
Will
Right.
certain pop acts will their
Right.
fans want a fucking vinyl? Yeah. You know?
I-
Pearl Jam fans will go buy a vinyl.
They'll buy everything.
You know what I mean?
They'll
They-
fucking
they
buy
pretty much.
Pearl Jam cereal if that
Yeah.
motherfucker made
You're
it.
probably right about that.
right, yeah.
Stuff,
You know,
No,
like
metal
Fish.
fan. You're right about that. Metal fans are really into vinyl. You're right about that.
They're
They're into collect. Yeah, yeah.
It's
All you
true.
need is fans.
you
like,
need
look
a
at ICP.
hardcore
Yeah.
fan base.
ICP are like the
They
most.
defy all odds.
So does Jimmy Buffett. All you need is 1,000 people to like and buy your shit constantly, and that's how you could just continue to make art for the rest of your life. You have 1,000 hardcore fans that'll drop, anywhere between 20.
How does that apply to this podcast?
Let's figure it out. Is there 1,000 people listening right now?
No, well, when we get there, what are we gonna sell them?
I don't know. We got to get fucking
Hawaiian shirt. Well, that's taken. The Hawaiian shirt. Margarita.
We got to get freebies from Mark.
I'll hook you up for sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So
do you sell like prints of your work,
I never
or is
done
it
that
just
yet.
for strictly?
I
for
haven't tried
films?
prints. That's the future. I'd like to try to acquire licensing. Where because you can't sell this stuff. Like I did a Halloween 2 print.
Yes, I was going to ask you about that.
That I actually did that print the day of the night that I got fired. That night I was like, I'm going to do this Halloween 2 print, and that was just a fan thing. I could get in trouble. I sold it on my blog, but I removed the Halloween 2 title and the credits.
It's so
it's
good.
just the thank you, man. I appreciate. So it's just the pumpkin with the knife in its head, and
we know.
yeah,
We
you know,
know.
yeah. So I can't get in trouble for that. But once I put the name in the, because I know Malik, is it Malik?
Akkad.
Yeah, he goes after people. He will like he's gone to people. He's gone to conventions. If he's been to a convention, and he sees you're selling stuff. He'll give you a cease and desist right there.
Yeah, because you could
Yeah.
your artwork's so intricate. Like you could make up like a movie title and just do a poster around it that
Right.
doesn't even
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah.
That's how
Then
Canon,
hook up with Dan Terr, put it on a T-shirt, boom.
There you go.
That's how Canon. Were you a Canon fan growing up?
No, but now I am. But
Okay.
not
Yeah.
going.
Did you watch a documentary on it?
Oh no, but I did not.
You got to watch that.
Yeah,
at
it's
least
so
watch
good.
it.
So
Yeah.
in the
man.
movie, they talked about how, they would just make basically if they had $20 million instead of making a really good movie, they would just make 20 movies. That was their thing,
That's awesome.
and they would hope that one of those 20 would bring back a return, even if the other 19 ate shit.
Yeah.
And you could tell from the
Yeah.
shit that they released.
yeah.
So they would go to these festivals and they would come up with a title and make a poster, and that's what they would sell. They'd be like, "Oh, this is the movie."
Really?
Yeah,
It was poster first
yeah,
without a movie.
yep,
That's sick.
yeah.
So great.
That's really cool. I
Roger
didn't know that.
Corman, that was his whole thing. The title. Give me the title.
And as soon as somebody bought it, they're like, "All right, now we got to make this one."
Yeah.
That's sick.
Now we got to write a
that's-
treatment.
I didn't know that. That's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, you would have been.
Yeah,
you would have
yeah.
been sitting pretty.
That's
Yeah,
like,
I bet
let's-
you could come up with your own stuff just off the
yeah.
title.
Well, I do. I
you
have
know?
plenty of fucking this. Yeah, I got plans under my sleeve, man. But
Really, let's.
I
make
don't want to
this,
discuss. But that's the plan, man. To get a name going, and then be like, hey, now read my script. I've worked on your movies. Now, please.
absolutely,
Yes.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll lay it.
Yeah.
We could make this movie about a girl, and she thinks her cat's killing her.
There you go.
There you go. See,
Great
come on
idea,
now,
dude.
That's right. You're good.
You
You
know?
listen.
White horse not included.
No
Leave the
horse.
fucking white horse at home.
The white horse saves her.
Yeah.
But but just real quick with the Halloween 2 print, I did it, and then Fright Rag. I did everything legal, man. I wasn't gonna get in trouble. But Fright Rag saw it. They bought the print, put it on a T-shirt, and then another company from Germany bought the print. I basically kept selling that thing legally. Like, no, I wasn't stepping on Fright Rag. I wasn't stepping on any of the customers that. So I kept.
Once you sell the print, you're out. You don't get a
No, I can
back
say
end on the
I own
t-shirts
the
or
I own
anything
the
like that?
design. If people want the high res file,
I mean,
They
once
can do whatever they want.
they procure it, put it on a shirt, is that the
then
end
they
of it
own the
for
rights to
you?
the T-shirt. They, like in other words,
You
no
write-
other
You
company.
own the image. They own the.
Yeah, no other company can put that pumpkin knife on a T-shirt. Fright Rags owns that. As far as like this Germany company put that, they did a Halloween 2 Blu-ray, so they now own that for the Blu-ray.
Okay.
I suppose I could sell it again. I mean, they're doing it all right. They're licensing it through
Right,
Moloch
right.
or whatever. So
We're back. Actually, no, Langan, you have to do your thing, please.
Hello.
All right, so during the break,
Such a creep.
yeah, during the break, like in that movie Step Brothers, where they're like, "Did we just become best friends?" so Mark listened to a song of my band that I played him, and he was tiptoeing around the name Sam I Am. Yeah. And I was like gonna mention it, like yeah, they're a big influence. And sure enough, man,
oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
No, that's it. It's
Boner.
funny that because even people that love music don't really seem to know them. I don't know why they're like just forgotten goddamn band.
That 90s sound. I guess would you call it 90s sound? The 90s into late 90s maybe.
It's like Corner. They were in the 90s, right? They broke up in the.
It's different. I've heard Sam I Am.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little different.
Yeah.
It's
so.
a great sound.
Yeah.
No, it was good. It's good shit.
But okay, so we're gonna do our top 5 horror sequels, which I'm pretty psyched for. I got some good picks. I want to geek out on these. So.
Through. Yeah.
As usual, we're gonna do. We're gonna have our guest, Marc Shoenbach. Shoenbach.
Yep, Shoenbach.
Start off with his number 5.
How do you do it? Least to or just?
No,
Worst
it's
to
number
first.
5.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, whatever your number
5
5.
Alright.
counting down to your favorite.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, think Casey Kasem. Jesus.
Absolutely. All right, I'm squeezing the 6th one. All right, so we're gonna say a little tricky here, but for me, these are the sequels that took a franchise and sort of epitomized for me what they were, or kind of maybe changed it or took it in a different course. Anyways, Nightmare on Elm Street 3. I'm sure that's on someone's list.
Boom.
There you go. I was debating which one I liked more as far as Friday the 13th.
No, we're gonna go around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just gonna go around.
Yeah.
One each.
One
Yeah.
each. You got it.
You
So
did
Nightmare.
number 2?
What did I do? What?
That
What
was
was-
your 5th.
That's my 5th one.
Yeah.
That's
Was
it.
it
Nightmare on Elm Street
3.
3.
The
Oh,
Dream
3, yeah.
Warriors.
I love the gore on that. I love the special effects.
It's by far my favorite in the series.
Same.
Yeah, there
by
you go.
far.
Same here.
Same.
Docking.
Even
Yeah,
more than the
fucking A.
first one.
Of course.
Okay.
It just,
Fair.
for me,
Beautiful.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I
I
don't
think
know.
it's neck and neck, 1 and 3.
it came
Yeah.
out at
Yeah.
the perfect
Yep.
time.
Yeah.
Just in the docking thing, George Lynch with that skull guitar.
Yeah.
Badass.
3 sort of takes what Freddy will be and kind of makes that's who Freddy is for the rest of it, like this funny
The
joke.
first comedic aspect was
Right.
in there.
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly. He becomes a comedian,
Yep.
and that's the Freddy Krueger that everyone.
But I think maybe it was just so new when he did it there that it didn't bother me as much, And he was still it was still pretty violent.
Really into good kills.
Yeah,
What's the
man.
one with the kid with the veins as a puppet?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
Slicing
brutal.
him off
Yeah, yeah.
with the girl in the face in the TV
It's
when
prime
Lizzie's
time,
on
bitch.
it.
Yeah.
Good nudity. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, which was the nurse?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you like my body, Joey?
Yes, I do.
Shout out to those titties.
Yeah, she was hot.
Yeah. All right, so Langan number 5.
Number 5, I got Creep Show 2.
Oh.
Um,
we
Nice,
say?
brother.
Poncho.
Nice.
I was bouncing back and forth on a couple of these, but Creep Show 1 I love. I just saw Creep Show 2 was a little scarier, not as campy, shall we say, I guess. The Indian one, not my favorite.
Chief
but
Woodenhead.
yeah, I mean, okay, but
Still memorable.
the blob thing under the raft
Yeah, the raft.
is
The best.
fantastic.
So good.
And the Hitchhikers is fucking fantastic as well. I like it better than the first one.
Yeah.
Even though I still
Wow.
love the first
That's
one,
wild,
I
yeah.
do like it better than that.
That is wild.
I wish it had more stories like the first one.
Yeah, yeah.
3 to 5.
I mean, I'm splitting hairs here. It's very close, but I think it's so rare. It's not rare, but when the sequel is as good as
Yeah.
something else, it's memorable, and I think it at least was.
It was darker.
Yeah, yeah.
It was definitely darker. But yeah, the raft is the overall gem.
Love it.
Just when it got on the girl's face, when it fucking sucked Poncho,
It
or
worked.
whatever is it.
Yeah. Poncho. That was his name.
His leg. When I was younger, watching it as a Hispanic male, I'm like, why is he calling him Poncho?
Yeah.
I'm like, because I know a bunch of Ponchos and they don't look like this guy.
You wear a fucking poncho.
And he had his little fucking Speedos on. It was just fun. He had the smallest joint ever. But it was great. And the girl from Weird Science, right? Wasn't she?
Was
that
she-
wasn't on. Oh, that wasn't even her.
Not too.
Still hot though, this girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to her being hot. Too.
Right?
Yeah.
Fucking
I gotta
hot.
Google that name later.
Hot 80s horror
hot
chick.
Horror chick.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
top
Yeah.
5. That
Yeah.
has
And
to
I
be
watched
happening
I actually got
sometime.
it back here for a future guest. So
Yeah.
I'm all ready. I'm ready to
Yeah.
go, man.
What perv is Mike Randall available for that one?
He actually just sent in a sequel
There you go.
suggestion. So, okay, cool. Parker, number 5.
I went back old school and I actually did for my number 5, Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh,
Nice.
Never
Took
saw
it back old
Show
school.
it, show
Really?
Yeah, I never saw it.
Yeah.
I need to.
There's something about those Universal movies that I don't know. There's just like a beauty to them, the black and white,
Absolutely.
and so I have a fucking Bride of Frankenstein tattoo on my leg, so that also helps.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's
They look great on Blu-ray too.
Do they?
Yeah, I rented them
from
the library.
There you go.
But they had all the Universal stuff on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And the black on everything is so well defined, and so
Yeah.
they are beautiful
Yeah,
pictures.
they
every
are,
single
yeah.
one of them. Yeah.
Very cool. All right, so my number 5 is Maniac Cop 2.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I love 1, but it's not the best film. 3 is pretty terrible. It's the voodoo one.
That's when he turns good, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I never
And
saw any of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I need to
all 3 of them are on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Best chin in the business, that guy.
Oh,
Yo,
man.
Easter Sunday.
They
Robert
are,
Zadar.
Yeah,
Zadar,
there you go.
Zadar, right.
Tango and Cash. too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that is something
Foo
else.
bar. But number 2 was just, it was like an action horror movie.
Yeah.
It had Bruce Campbell in it, Robert Davi,
Yeah. Yeah.
from the Goonies and fucking whatever the fuck else. James Bond. He was James
He
Bond.
was
villain.
the pockmarked villain in every film.
Yeah, exactly. He
The worst skin.
He
and-
per-
yeah. He was.
he perfected it before Edward James Olmos. He
They were probably like whatever their pay rate was. Like, get me who's getting more, Regime almost or Davi. Give me the cheaper one.
Oh man.
so.
That's amazing.
But number 2, just it had a lot of action. Like William Lustig. I remember I went to Nighthawk Cinema in Brooklyn, and it was for the 1980s Maniac screening. He just did it for whatever the fuck reason we went, because they have popcorn in metal bowls and they're fucking delicious.
That's awesome.
And Nighthawk is just an amazing passion project. I mean, I wish I owned it. It's almost like what you were talking about with
12.
with 112, how you suggested that they make it like an event.
Yeah.
That's what fucking Nighthawk is.
Oh,
it's
sick.
a bar. You've never been there?
No, is it here?
No, it's in Brooklyn.
Oh,
God damn.
what is it? It's
I've never been either.
What is
Me
it?
either, no.
Sounds pretty
Oh,
great.
really?
Yeah. I hate fucking going to Brooklyn.
So do I. I don't like to leave my house. But
When I
what-
hear shows in Brooklyn,
I know,
I'm like,
I
you
know.
what?
What is that about? I
Yes.
know. I know.
Wow. Okay.
But
It's
it sounds fantastic. Seriously, I'm not even being a
well, anyway, I went to a screening there. It's so they would do like these midnight screenings, and this one just happened to have William Lustig, who's the director of Maniac and Maniac Cop,
Awesome.
all that shit.
Yeah.
And I asked him what his favorite movie that he made was, and he said Maniac Cop 2.
Wow.
I was like, oh, okay, that makes complete sense because I think it's the best movie he's ever done. So that's my number 5. It's awesome. It's on YouTube. Go watch
Did
it.
he give a reason why that was his favorite, or just he thought it was his best work?
Probably his
way
best
from-
work. Yeah.
I love his stuff, man. It's always fun.
Yeah. It's 80s New York sleaze.
Yeah, I love that
Yes.
shit.
Which
I
I
love
love
that
it,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
So, okay, number 4. Mark?
Sure. So then I didn't do it in order, but number 4 for me would be, while I like the original better, obviously I liked just how Part 2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, how it's just so, it's 1986, I think, and to me that movie epitomizes what Sadist Art designs. That is so fucking cheesy, so perfectly stupid, colorful, silly, fun, gory, scary. I think there's some scary stuff in there, and I just think it's so fun. And it would take Leatherface, for better for worse, and if you watch the subsequent films after that, it was a joke. All the movies after that were very silly, and I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is just fucking amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's also how we got
Canon
our name.
Films.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
canon.
that's canon.
That's
Yeah.
okay. So all right. So I know
That's how
some
we got
canon.
our name, Red River.
From
podcast.
what's Red River? Is that
the
the
radio
radio show?
station.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yep.
That's fucking great. Is that right?
Yep.
So it must be on your list, someone's list, maybe. Well,
We
don't
actually
know.
we had a top 5 canon film list, and we agreed beforehand that
Not to.
that was like Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame
No
automatic.
one put it
Yeah.
on their list for that particular
that
one
right?
because
Yeah.
we were all gonna pick it.
That's
'Cause
awesome.
We're named after it and we love it all.
Yeah.
So we're like,
That's
let's just
amazing.
say that
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Hall of Fame.
And it's great that he named it because
Yes.
then we don't have
Right, it doesn't
you
look
know.
like
Exactly.
it's... Yeah. That
See
was...
that jersey on the wall over there that says Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2?
I can't see it.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's what I was looking too.
Yeah, it's great. That's great.
Okay.
film.
It's great, man.
Totally great.
Not the best Leatherface, but a damn good Leatherface.
But a great chop top.
Fan.
well,
Yep.
yeah. Oh,
Legendary
Yeah.
character.
Legendary, and we
Perfect.
said it during the canon stuff. Just the anticipation when he's in that radio station.
Yeah,
and
man.
you know something's gonna
He
happen.
builds it.
That's
and
the
he's
scary
just
shit.
like, oh,
What does he say? Anavita, that song, whatever that song is.
In a-
Yeah, you want to play that song?
By Iron Butterfly.
Yeah.
Oh, it's heavy, man.
yeah.
far
Yeah.
out. He was
Creepy,
great,
creepy.
man.
I remember
Yeah.
when I first saw that, I was like, that probably was to me the scariest.
It was
It
so much
seemed- yeah.
suspense in
Yeah,
that scene.
yeah, because yeah,
It was
exactly.
just like, when is this
Yeah.
something gonna
Yeah.
jump off?
And,
Bye-bye.
Happening.
He's like,
and when it jumped off, when they were beating the dude in the head with the hammer,
that was a little
Yeah.
too much for me, but
That
73
was-
times
yeah.
they hit him or something.
that was real.
it was like
That was
it looked
uncalled for.
real.
Yeah.
I did that. I didn't like that, to be honest with you, but yeah, that was real. Yeah, that they made it look really real.
Yeah.
Very real, very real. Like his legs.
When his
were
legs
shaking.
started
yeah.
twitching.
So
Well, that's like the first one. That classic scene when
Right.
he slams the door, and
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's one of my favorite scenes in horror history. But I digress because that was the
Yeah.
first one, and we're talking sequels.
Yeah,
number 4, Langan.
Phantasm 2.
Ooh, good one.
I love Phantasm 1. Obviously, Tall Man's one of my favorite villains. I see he's right over here to my left, in action figure form with one of his little midget guys. What can I say, midget?
Say whatever you want.
Small people.
But it took the film, obviously, with the same director with a bigger budget. What was his name? Corsielli, something like that. But he returned to do the other film. And it's got a quicker pace. It's got more Tall Man. It's got the Tall Man quotes. It gave you more Tall Man. Because, like, he is,
Yeah,
he's the big villain, the ball, everything else. But, like, he had more of a presence in the film. Better makeup, better effects, a chainsaw duel. It moved along. I loved it.
you want to know what's funny?
What?
Never seen one Phantasm movie in my life.
Wow.
Yeah,
I've only seen the first one, so I'm with you.
Part 2 is so much better. It's got the fucking quadruple shotgun.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
in
know
the in the
how.
P section.
Yeah.
Both of them. Or both.
Send him home with that shit,
Yeah.
please. I mean, if we're gonna do another one of these fucking shows,
if we're coming back for 13,
it's the first two of that are
Yeah.
fucking solid.
Yeah.
It like any series, it starts to wear thin.
Yeah.
But you can't go wrong with the first two.
with
No.
the first 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he's an iconic villain. I mean,
Yeah.
legend.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's something
Yeah, you'll like
that
it.
and the ball.
The
With
balls.
yeah.
The ball is back.
You'll like it. Yeah.
So, Parker, number 4.
Evil Dead 2.
Boom.
Oh, going left field. I see.
Yeah. Pretty much the same movie as Evil Dead 1, funny enough, but
Which made it weird. I
yeah,
didn't know, I didn't
but
know
like
that.
bigger budget, but it kind of just gets right into it, which is
Right.
fucking hysterical. Like the fucking credits roll and just the shit hits the fan, and it's
Yeah.
fucking hysterical.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember being, I think, afraid of that movie first because I think the first time I saw it was HBO at probably about 2 a.m. in the morning, but now I just fucking cry laughing. Like it's not even fucking scary anymore. I just fucking laugh my fucking ass off at that movie.
What's so good about it too is it is the same fucking
Yeah.
exact story, but you don't give a shit.
No.
A lot of them like, this is the same one they did the first time.
Yeah.
I didn't care for one fucking second.
Yeah.
It was so much fun and enjoyable.
man.
Well, we didn't care because it was a zillion times better.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
clearly, yes.
Yeah, I cared
They
when
both
I watched,
have their.
I watched The Force Awakens and I cared. I was like, wait a minute. This is fucking Star Wars.
Yeah, there's no
You
worries.
motherfuckers. I just can't believe he was up at 2 in the morning ever.
Yeah, I think I was like 11 and a half.
That's believable.
11 maybe.
All right, so my number 4 is a newer movie, and it was one of my favorite zombie movies of all time, Dead Snow 2.
Oh,
Wow.
Red versus Dead
Very good.
is every fucking thing that you could ever want in a zombie movie.
American? No, German. I mean, it's not American, right?
Well,
It's
it's actually
Norwegian,
I
isn't
think
it?
it's Norwegian. The first one, Dead Snow. They're both on Netflix right now.
Norwegian or Swedish.
Yeah.
Norland.
Something.
Like that.
Yeah. The first one was subtitled,
Yeah.
and then something happened where it just got super popular. I guess like the American audiences loved it.
Yeah.
So they made a second movie specifically for an American audience, and they got Martin Starr from, Silicon Valley and Freaks and Geeks and all that other shit in it. And it's
I had no idea.
when I tell you it's one of the best zombie movies I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
That's the best of the Nazi zombie movies.
That's the best.
More than Shockwaves. That's
right.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
And
Oh,
it
you
was-
saw it.
Yeah,
Oh, so
both
you know,
the Dead
okay.
Snow movies are enjoyable, but you're
Oh,
totally
alright,
right.
now
That one
that was
it's what Trauma would be if they had a $5 million budget
Yeah.
or something.
They had actors and someone to write a decent script, a cameraman.
That's true. That's also
Could
very
shoot
good.
somewhere outside of the new tri-state area. All those things.
All those things.
But yes, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, Dead Snow 2,
Totally good.
Red versus Dead. There's actually a foreign version, Norwegian, whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
Where it's whatever in a different language, like most foreign movies are.
Yeah.
And but then there's one specifically for American audiences,
They
and it
can't
says
read.
Red versus Dead.
Going back to those books again.
So okay, Mark, number 3.
Sure. Well, it's a repeat. Should I say it or just go on to the next one?
No, yeah, if it's a repeat. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it is Creepshow 2. I also
Go
thought it
ahead.
was great.
Tell
so.
us why.
Well, you said it was actually scarier and more serious. Did you say serious or something?
I thought the first one was a little more tongue in cheek, and I thought it was a little. I mean, they're both tongue in cheek. I just thought it was a little scarier and less.
Really?
camp,
Oh, that's I
in a way.
weird. I found it to be more campy, but it might have also been the wraparound. These anthologies have the wraparound.
Sure.
So the. Did you know that guy was Tom Savini? Did you know that
The Creep.
Yeah, the Creep.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I just realized that like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Pretty cool. Yeah. So I just love that movie. I thought again, it was a little shortchanged with only 3 stories, but damn good. I could also do without the Captain. What's it called? Captain Woodman.
Chief Woodenhead.
Chief Woodenhead. I could have done with that.
It's
Yeah.
the weaker
Captain
of the
Woodman.
three.
I could have done with that one, but the Hitchhiker. Yeah, to me, Hitchhiker's that's my favorite one. That's just great. I love that. I love that's another one.
Loco. Nah.
It just that to me feels also very 80s. You know what I mean? Like that's why I love that. So I don't know when that one came out, but
I think it was like 89.
that late? No, it had to be.
No, I didn't write the date.
I'm thinking maybe 80. I'm gonna say 86.
Shit.
And I could just do that
Let's
because
go to the videotape.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 86 because I bet it's 86.
Is that in the C section?
It's back there.
All
Let me
right.
see if I can beat
And
that
I'm
phone.
1987.
All right. 87. Yeah.
Technology.
So that to me, that's the magical era right there. 86, 87. That's the sweet spot for me. That's like when everything was just neon lit, fog, and just really cheesy. Nobody was taking themselves too serious. Again, I know it is scary. There are things that are actually really creepy about it. But that to me, it's just great fun. The poster is absolutely the greatest poster ever. But
So good.
Did you watch either documentary? There was a documentary that I saw on
Just
Creepshow,
Dessert.
Yeah,
but there's also one on Creepshow too.
I didn't
No.
see those. What were they called?
It's only on YouTube. Like it's like maybe
Really?
30 minutes long.
Oh no.
What's the name of it?
I might have it
I
with
don't know.
Creepshow too.
Yeah,
It might be
Really?
on the
It
DVD.
might be
Oh,
just
really?
extras, and I just found it on YouTube.
You have the arrow?
No, it's just regular DVD, but it might be in the extras. yeah.
Really?
I like how Chief Woodenhead moved around, and I liked it.
Yeah.
I like that one.
It's fucking
Sam's
sure better
long
than
hair.
Creepshow 3. That was one of the worst
Yeah.
fucking pieces
That-
of shit I've ever
yeah.
seen.
That was
was
just
a
the
big
name,
guy.
right?
was horrible.
It has nothing. Yeah.
That was a mistake.
Langan, number 3.
Number 3, I got Friday the 13th, final chapter.
Nice.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's so good. It's by far my favorite Friday the 13th.
That's the girl from Weird Science.
Judy Aronson,
Yeah.
fine as hell. Still looking good. Runs a Pilates place in Los Angeles. Not that
Damn.
I'm creeping out on her Facebook page.
Damn.
No, I met her at Chiller, I think.
I think it's time to load into the van and road trip it.
Corey Feldman, Crispin Glover, a lot of.
that dance.
There was for a Friday the 13th movie. There's better acting in it. There's actually a story with some of the characters, which is avoided in a lot of slasher films. Nudity is on point.
Nice.
Judy Ronson skinny dipping. But the pacing is good. It's all good. The ending is really hilarious now. When you watch it.
Savini, man.
The whole
The machete.
Corey Feldman jumps on his fucking back and thing and whatever.
That machete slide
But-
down.
Yeah.
though.
It's
so great.
So
Well, that's how
fucking
they
good.
wanted to end it. They
Yep.
wanted to end it there.
Right.
They wanted to end it there, so they're like, all right, how can we
Do
kill
you
him?
think they really? Oh,
Well-
they were like, yeah, we're just gonna say we're gonna end it, but you know.
Yeah, because he wasn't that established yet. There was it the first? No, it was the second one. He had the hockey mask, right?
Third.
Third.
Second was the potato sack.
No, I'm saying it was the second film that he actually wore
Yes.
the hockey. Yeah,
Second
yeah. So
one,
he
he's
wa-
the first time
Right.
to kill
Yeah.
her.
Right,
Third
Scared
one,
me
he
for a
gets the
minute
mask.
there.
No, of course.
About to
Third
edit
one, he
that
gets
out.
the mask.
No, but in other words, they might have wanted to be done with it, right? And figured,
I think so.
yeah.
Maybe
you know,
Why would
Well,
people say what they don't mean?
Well, I know that who was it? Paramount that ran them. There was a lot of shit where they were, even though that franchise saved their fucking company, from what I've read. There was a lot of like, it's lowbrow to us once they got their feet on the water, because it took so long for them to put out any kind of box set for that shit, because it was like it was kind of like this unspoken stepchild of Paramount, but it was a cash cow for them.
Well, still,
But you know, the stigma of horror movies, it's just
and on
heavy
top
metal,
of that,
all that shit. It's
Yeah.
like, it's sub below us.
they might have wanted it too, because the Wood 5 they did a new beginning. You know, and it was completely like just. It's like, okay, not Jason.
right?
Yeah,
And
that
yeah,
was,
right.
Tanked.
That was
Still good nudity, though.
Nudity. What was the nudity there?
Oh, there was a ton in that one.
And
You got to
five.
do something if Jason's not going to be in it.
And the
you know?
girl was pop locking.
Yeah.
one of the best things
There's a
about an
moon.
80s slasher. You know you're getting that
Yeah.
TNA.
Lana!
Nah, yeah. The guy doing blow. Hey, Lana!
Listening to like Muzak.
Who
'cause
was
they
that guy?
Probably couldn't afford songs, I guess, for the movie.
Yeah.
So it just sounded like elevator music in the car, and he's like tapping on the door.
Yeah.
Lana! So,
Gonna get it now, bitch.
yeah, totally. All right, Parker.
Aliens.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah. Wow.
I see, really don't even fucking need to say shit. I don't know.
It's-
Hudson Hicks, fucking Apone, fucking. You know, I just saw Aliens Covenant like 2 weeks ago, and
How was it?
it was great,
Yeah.
but
Don't do it.
still can't touch this.
I didn't see it yet.
I didn't see
No,
that. I
great.
fully agree with you, though.
I enjoyed it, but you're never gonna touch this movie. I know a lot of people say like, oh, it's overrated, and Alien 3, the director's cut, which was like fucking 7 hours long and all that. I don't fucking need that shit.
I think Aliens 2 is better than the first one.
Me too.
Yeah,
me
that's
too.
the thing.
Yeah.
No
Yeah, that's
question
That's because
about
you're a
No.
sane human being.
Yeah.
Who the fuck
Some
would
people,
argue that?
Some people would.
That when I took
Some
a
people that just don't want to admit that a sequel could ever be better
No,
than the
of course.
original.
Yeah.
When I took a screenwriting course, that we analyzed Aliens 2, Aliens, because that's apparently like there's a lot of I'm into screenwriting, so a lot of the books talk about that movie because it's considered like a perfect film. Like if you can consider something perfect, it's a lot of
Protagonist, antagonist.
yeah,
and
it has
morals,
all that
right.
the fucking arcs and everything. It's considered a perfect film.
And the ending. If you've never seen Aliens, tune off now. I know it came out in '86.
Spoiler.
31 years. If you haven't watched it,
Uh-huh.
tune off now. The ending where Ripley fights the alien in that fucking like thing. Get away from her, you bitch!
Yeah.
And then the mouth comes
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was like, as a kid, you're like,
Intense.
holy shit! You're like, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I had that game on Commodore 64.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Fucking
That
sick.
The only thing I'll say about that movie I hated was I hated that fucking kid. Newt.
Fucking Newt. Fuck her.
no.
Ripley.
Oh.
I was crying. Shut the fuck up. He should
Every kid in every movie is terrible.
annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. Babadook. That's why I didn't like Babadook.
Oh, Bob.
Yeah,
And now,
I
mommy,
like
the Babadook. Fucking kid.
I like
Yeah, that
flick.
kid did.
Yeah, it was-
I didn't mind the Bob. I hated the ending.
Top 5 most
You didn't
annoying
like-
kids
okay.
in films.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Newt.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Coming
even
up.
matter.
Yeah.
Number one is the stuttering kid from Halloween 5. No one's ever gonna tell.
Oh wow. Jamie.
Jamie.
That's amazing. Oh,
don't know.
the
I'm
kid
gonna
from
give it some
Poltergeist
thought.
is
We're
pretty
coming
fucking...
back to that.
Are we?
Yeah, we're gonna get back to that one.
Oh, fuck.
Who was that person that wrote in that said we always say, like, we're going to get to that later, and we never do? Might have been Joe Sullivan, actually.
All right,
Somebody.
so
Yeah.
here
Sorry.
is here's my number 3. I had Texas Chainsaw 2, which I forgot our rule since we retired it like an idiot.
right.
So I'm going to pick an alternate. I'm going to go Jason Goes to Hell.
Wow. Really?
That's crazy.
That's a rough one.
Come
He's
at me,
throwing
bro.
his
Yeah.
hands up
Come
right
at
now.
me.
This
Come
is
at me.
radio. I'm
Did
just-
you like that Jason was not in the movie?
I mean,
AKA The Hidden Part 3.
yeah, I was going to say, it reminded me of The Hidden, the movie The Hidden,
yeah.
which was like a 1987.
Good nudity in the movie. Yeah, go back to that again.
Wow.
But Kyle MacLachlan was in it. And in the movie, you know, the alien just jumps from, I guess, like body to body. Kind
Kane
of like,
Hodder kind of does the cameo as the cop or whatever, which was funny.
Also, the first Power had the same thing.
That's
which
when he
Great
jumps into
fucking
the
movie.
bodies, but you don't
Oh,
see
yeah.
Jason
With,
unless they look in
Lou
a
or
mirror.
something?
Lou Diamond Phillips.
Diamond
That
Phillips.
was a good fucking movie.
Wow, that's a bold choice.
Yeah, I like
Well,
that movie.
Did you see it in the theater?
Yeah.
I'm sure I did too.
I think the kills were the most brutal. And it was just, I don't know, there was something about it. Even like the ending with like the Freddy mask. I mean, Freddy glove taken.
Right.
Jason mask. The dude later on went to do Friday the 13th, the series.
Yep.
It had the black guy from 21 Jump Street.
Yeah. Is that the guy that goes, I think of an 11-year-old girl sticking a hot dog through a donut.
That is his line. So I know it gets a lot of heat, but at the end of the day, it's
That
not
guy was
Jason
in Missing
X.
in Action too. He was. That's the guy. Think about it.
I'm trying.
Yeah,
For it, bro.
that's him.
At the end of the day, it's not Jason X. That's all I'm going to say.
Dan Tur.
That's Dan Tur's favorite. It's almost like
frozen fucking thing kill.
that's it.
Did Dan Tur write in? Because it would have been like Jason
did,
X.
he did, he
Oh
did.
fuck! All right, I'm not.
He gave me
I
his
can't
list.
wait.
Jason X5.
It's going to be Jason X.
And
Return
Stomp 4,
Return of the Living Dead 3's probably on there.
Oh,
Raid
wow.
to the grave. Is that that?
No. That's the.
Is that 4 or
the girl
5?
one. 3 is the girl
We'll
one.
get to that.
Okay, yeah. So Jason Goes to Hell, which they couldn't even use the name.
Right. They couldn't use Friday because it was what? Paramount? Oh, no. It was New Line. New Line.
Yeah.
And that was when they lost their the rights.
Mark, number 2.
2, right. So 2 would be, and again, one of my favorite all-time films ever, Jason Lives. So is it okay
Yeah.
that we keep going with
Part
Friday
6.
13th? Part
Oh,
6,
yeah.
yeah.
Great one.
Yeah,
That's actually my favorite one out of the entire series.
Yeah, it's probably that's my favorite one as well.
Part 6.
Again, it's that sweet spot. I want to say it's 86.
I got to say it's 86.
I got to say it's 86. There's something about that era, man.
And Tom Matthews, who I have a fucking
Yep.
Return of the Living Dead.
So good. And yeah, man, that's the one. That's the film that when I would go to these video store VHS stores, I re-rented a lot. And I just kept re-renting that one over and over again. That's the one. I don't know, man. There's just something so freaking good about it. Zombie Jason is the first time that,
first
once
time.
they make him Zombie Jason, it kind of opens up the whole new, a whole new bold game. And
Well, the lightning did hit.
Yeah.
well, yeah, that's how you'd bring someone back.
Yeah, he
obviously.
did have.
Guy from Welcome Back Kotter, freaking
Yeah.
ran out of the way. You know? That's
It-
who it was, right?
That's from. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Come on, lasagna.
Which one? The
the friend.
Horseshack?
Yeah, that was him. You never picked up on that.
Wait, that was not the cop. Oh no,
The
the
friend.
guy in the
The
beginning.
guys that
Yes.
are digging him up?
Yes.
Come on, Tommy.
It's a really bad.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then the shots of Corey Feldman hiding in the. Is that? Am
No,
I getting this
that's
one?
No,
the-
that's 5.
That's 5.
That's
No,
5,
no,
yeah.
Okay.
It's
Because
also
he's
the,
hiding in the woods, but he wasn't really in for that
Yes.
shot. He
They-
wasn't
you know
shot
where
in
they
that
filmed
movie.
that? They
It was from
filmed
the
that-
previous thing.
They filmed that in his backyard
Yeah.
because I think he was filming Goonies at the time.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Bam.
Wow, horseshit.
I like that.
That's you, motherfucker.
That pop.
Damn.
Yeah. It's
You're
also
good.
no. It's
I
also.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, no. I was gonna say it's also the best look for me. It's the best looking Jason. I
is a
think his
good-looking
body,
Jason.
the mask, the way he moves. I know there was 2 Jasons that there was two Jasons that played.
C.J. Graham, right?
C.J. Graham is the guy that it was in the most of the shots, but the paintball scene.
Okay.
If you
Oh,
rewatch
yeah.
it's a much heavier set guy. It's a different guy,
Ah.
and he looks a little heavier, a little sluggier. That's a different Jason, but the main guy, C.J. That to me, that's Jason. That's when I think of Jason. But it might be because that might have been the first Friday the 13th. I don't know. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, it's a
I
good
want to
one.
watch it when
Yeah.
I get home.
That-
I think I'm gonna do that.
There's merits to every
Sure.
Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah.
One can make an argument for
Well-
all of them. They're beloved, you know.
1 through 4 is like this perfect like slasher
Yeah, I agree.
masterpiece
Yeah,
thing
agreed.
where he dies. Whatever, 3 being the weakest, but I think 1, 2, and 4.
You know what I hate about 2 though is like the first 20 minutes. It seems like is just telling exactly. They're sitting around the campfire, basically showing the first film,
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I saw that.
It's like Silent Night.
I
Deadly
remember
Night
that
too.
movie.
Yeah.
I just watched
Yeah,
it.
but
like,
Madman did the same thing. There's
Right.
a lot of
Yeah.
movies in the 80s.
It's
They're like, yo,
that's like a Corman move right there.
Huh.
But then the rest of the movie is
Yeah.
fantastic.
they're
But
like, we got
anyway.
budget for an hour.
Just tell the fucking same story the first one. We got the
Yeah.
footage.
Let's get them up to speed. We should do that on this podcast, so we won't have to.
On the last Red River podcast.
Previously.
Previously on Red River podcast.
So, but yeah, so 1 through 4
Yeah.
is a very cohesive
Yeah,
piece,
yeah.
and then everything like
Once-
5 doesn't even count.
Right.
And then from 6 on is just like this, like
Just having fun. with it.
Fuck it, let's
Yeah.
go.
Let's
yeah,
pretty
whatever
much.
we
and I
want.
Supernatural.
like when he kills the sheriff. He like bends him.
Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
Like
Which
like a
one
lawn
had
chair.
the kill with the sleeping bag? Because that's my
7.
favorite
7.
kill ever.
Yeah,
Oh,
7. Yeah,
that
that's
sounds
and
good.
Alice Cooper, Man Behind the Mask.
yeah.
Part
6.
six.
Part
6.
6.
Yeah.
Teenage
Exactly.
Frankenstein.
Great, man. I have that
Yeah.
out. Well,
Fright Rags did that
Constrictor.
shirt.
Yes, they
Yep.
recently did that. Yeah, but Alice Cooper had an album.
Oh, yes. Both
Constrictor?
of them. Yep.
something like that.
And they were
Yeah,
on that-
and there
those
was a lot of
songs.
the songs.
The
was great.
Poison was on there.
No, that's the album Poison. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, Poison! I love
That was his
record.
big
That was
hit.
1989. That was kind of like the return to form.
They had that guitar player with the the gun guitar.
Well,
Kane
it's-
Roberts.
Yeah, he was also
The
like
bodybuilder.
jacked. Yeah, he was jacked completely.
He was like Thor with more of a career going for him.
All right, what are we up to? Lang in number 2.
Number 2, I got Demons 2
Oh wow.
Oh, good choice.
by Mr. Bava, 1986
That's a
it
good
came
one.
out. Demons 1 and Demons 2 are probably 2 of my favorite movies in history.
Yeah.
I can't recall when I've had better times watching a movie. I can
Wow.
watch it anytime. So much fun.
Have you seen them?
Yep.
Yeah,
I love them.
And Demons 2 is basically the same movie. Instead of a movie theater, it's in an apartment complex.
Right.
Instead of heavy metal music, Motley Crue and what else was in there? Killer Maids or whatever. Pretty Maids. That was another metal band that was in there. But part 2 had the Smiths, the Cult, Fields of the Nephilim, Peter Murphy, Love and Rockets, Dead Can Dance. Basically every 80s goth band in the world. They get the Smiths on there, so I don't even know how they did that. But
That's a good, yeah.
yeah,
They probably never
don't
found
sign.
out.
I have no idea exactly. But like I said, it's the same kind of thing. It's got a demon child, a demon dog in it. A demon child attacking a pregnant lady.
Yeah.
Kids aren't spared in it, which I love. When a
That's-
movie's not afraid to
yeah.
kill a kid.
Yeah.
That is the hallmark of a great movie. When you kill a kid in a movie,
Footnote: when you write your film, opening scene,
Death.
first shot,
1,000
an
kids.
axe right to the fucking kid's head, and people know you mean business.
and, and to bring it full circle,
I agree.
Planet Terror, one of the best movies I've ever seen in my
Yeah.
life.
Wow.
Robert Rodriguez has a son in there for no fucking reason, and he shoots his
Yes.
own fucking face off.
Yep.
Really?
That's his
I
son.
think I've heard.
In the back seat, right?
And because
Oh, right.
she was like, "Don't point.
Don't
that.
play with the gun or whatever.
Yeah.
That's
and
his son?
Yeah,
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then the 2 twins are his babysitters.
Amazing.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, but and then also God Bless America. That was another one with Bobcat Goldthwait. He wrote that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Within the first 5 minutes, they fucking throw a baby in the air and they shotgun it.
Great movie. Yeah.
I'm like, fuck it, I'm in.
Yeah, no, and all bets are off, and
Yeah.
again, it's just like Demons 1. It's a completely fun ride from beginning to end. I want to watch it as soon as I get home.
Yeah.
Just talking about it, but
That's awesome,
you can't
man.
go wrong with those 2 flicks.
Soundtracks are
Cannot.
great for it too, man.
They're so good, both those movies.
Yeah.
Parker number 2.
Halloween 2,
Yeah.
the original, not the fucking white pony. Fucking remix. You know, it's pretty cool how it pretty much kicks off where the original, literally, like 5 minutes later, I
Yeah,
think it is.
right away.
The fucking guy gets shot out the window, and then, you know, he was the boogeyman, and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know. I really, sometimes I watch that, I'm like, fuck, this could be maybe just as good as the original.
Yes.
You know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, all the sequences in the, you know, kind of like what you were saying with Demons, kind of the same thing with Halloween. Instead of being like a house in a neighborhood, now you're stuck in this, you know, hospital.
Right.
Which adds a feeling of claustrophobia
Yeah.
to it. Kind of like the void that we were discussing.
Yeah.
It gives it that insulated,
Yeah.
creepy feel.
Did you watch The Void?
Yeah, man, I dug it
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah.
Fucking right. I feel like if you grew up loving the shit we did,
Yeah.
I feel like that's a love letter to you.
Yes, totally. I didn't understand it, to be honest with you.
No one did.
Nobody did.
Yeah.
But
Who cares?
That was half the fun of it. Yeah.
exactly. I was like,
Like, why was Michael Myers killing his sister?
Right.
I didn't
It's
know.
safe.
I didn't give a shit.
yeah.
He
And that's
fu-
another.
Cthulhu.
Sorry to interrupt, but another good thing Halloween 2, they stepped up because there's no gore really in Halloween 1, which is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
I don't need
No.
guts
the
flying at the
tension.
screen,
Yeah.
but there's more gore in Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And titties.
Yes.
I got to
The
go
hot
on
tub,
Parker's
Yeah.
theme.
the hot
He's
tub
building.
over
Oh,
there, so.
chick was hot.
Yeah.
And Leo Rossi.
Yeah. And I love the ending. I mean, just fucking shoots
Yeah.
Michael Myers in both eyes, then fucking.
He's on fire.
Oh.
Right?
You know the new ones with Danny McBride. That's
Yeah.
going to come. Supposedly, it's supposed to take place right after
Yeah.
Halloween 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll
How
see.
many
awesome.
fucking times like
I
are we gonna
don't care.
do this
I like
shit?
it.
Yeah,
I
me
like
too.
it
I
because
love Danny McBride, and I hope it's great.
Yeah.
But it's just like, well,
I'm fine with it.
I am.
Yeah.
I
I'm
hope.
fine with
I
it.
hope high hopes.
Do
but
it,
Don't
baby.
let me
Fine
down
with it.
again.
It can't be Resurrection.
Yeah.
Like
right.
Resurrection, like whoever watched that and was sitting there and approved it,
Yeah.
like who the fuck? Like let's get him on the podcast
Yeah.
and be like, yo, you watched that piece of shit and you were like, I'm going to find investors for this.
Yeah.
We're going to get it out.
This is going to be.
Imagine if your wife's sister saw that movie, or her friend, or whoever it was. The amount of money she would ask
my
back
God.
for that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She'd get the whole fucking theater's money back if
She
they
might
fucking.
complain for everybody.
Right?
She could do
Yeah.
that.
Actually, I got my money back from that because the sound cut out, so I got my money. I saw
Oh,
it
hey,
for
that was
free.
like me with fucking Delta Force, man, because it was a fucking blackout at Sunrise Mall.
It's amazing.
Just
Delta-
stand online and we'll give you. I was like, fuck that shit. I want to see fucking Chuck Norris kill some commies, man. Come on.
It's amazing.
Okay, so my number 2 is Hellraiser. Hellraiser 2.
Nice.
Hellraiser
Nice.
2 might be better than Hellraiser 1. in my
Definitely
opinion.
bloodier. Definitely bloodier.
The thing that got me as a kid, it was one of those scenes where I remember from certain movies, like we were talking about Chop Top or whatever, the hammer and all that other shit. The scene in Hellraiser 2 when it was some dude who thought he had maggots on him, and he starts slicing
Yep.
his skin off with a razor, looked way too real. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is this fucking guy doing? He's just slicing shit off his body, and it was just so realistic. And it just took everything Hellraiser 1 was and just, like, turned it to, like, fucking 10.
Yep.
And that's just, I could watch it today, and it's the world that fucking was created for it was perfect.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love it. I give Hellraiser, like, the first 3, and then after that, I don't give a shit.
Same
So,
thing.
Bloodline. I watched Bloodline, and that's what knocked me out of the game.
Yeah.
Like they were in space,
Oh,
and they were
God.
in the 1800s.
What is that? 5 or something?
That's
Bloodline
4.
is 4.
4. I've only seen 1, 2. So
Yeah.
It was a quick drop off after the.
yeah.
It was like,
Yeah, because they get very crazy. Like story becomes real convoluted,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, they were in space, and then they were in fucking the 1800s.
Yeah.
Like the whole
Oh,
movie.
wow.
It was
It's like
just-
that.
It's like
Yo.
fucking Michael Myers in fucking the 1400s.
It's tainted bloodline.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, right.
exactly.
Druids.
All right, so Mark number 2.
Number 2 or is
Oh.
it 1?
We
Yeah.
gotta read the,
Oh, yeah, I gotta read.
listener submissions.
Oh,
Oh, I have no idea what I'm doing. Go ahead, you go, Langan. Who do you have?
I have one friend this week. I forgot to talk to Todd. I would have had 2 otherwise. Brendan Henry, who always throws in something. He's got number 5, Jason Takes Manhattan.
oh.
Good
I think
one.
that's. Do we have every Friday the 13th mention? Almost.
See,
Almost.
They're
Except
great.
obviously the first one. You
What does
can't.
that say? They're great fucking
Yeah.
films, aren't they?
4, Army of Darkness. 3 Critters 2, 2 House 2, the second story,
Wow.
and 1 Evil Dead 2.
Nice.
Wow,
That's a good list,
too,
man.
huh?
Yeah.
It's a good list.
Look at him, man. Look at him. All right, I have Dan Tur, the infamous, famous Dan Tur.
Oh yeah, I've been hearing about this guy.
Yeah, I know.
He's a legend.
He's a legend. So number 5. All right, I'll do his honorable mentions. Why not? Halloween 3,
Nice.
Evil Dead 2, Predator 2, Jason X. Fucking kidding me? Creepshow 2. Okay, so
Sweet.
then his top 5: Final Destination 3. Number 4, he has Halloween 2. Number 3, he has Army of Darkness. Number 2, Friday the 13th, the final chapter. And number 1, Dream Warriors,
Nice.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Wow.
Um,
Solid.
solid, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have anyone?
I got 2.
Go ahead.
I got Keen Gross. Number 5 has Exorcist 3.
Good one.
Number 4, Aliens 3. Number 3, Jason Goes to Hell. Getting a lot of
Wow.
play on this. Number 2, Halloween Curse of Michael Myers, Producer's Cut.
Mm-hmm.
And number 1, Maniac Cop 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then Eric Henderson actually only did 3. So he's got Elm Street 3, Psycho 2, and Exorcist 3.
Psycho 2 was good.
So
Surprisingly
was Exorcist
good.
3. Exorcist 3 was a good
Exorcist, that scene
Yeah,
with
it's-
that
Oh yeah.
ghost
Whoosh,
that-
the shears, man.
Yo,
Yeah.
I jumped out of my
Yeah.
seat.
That,
you know?
I just saw that for the first time like a month
Because
ago.
part 2 is
Really.
so fucking bad.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought 3
That's
was great. And
abysmal.
George C. Scott, he's
yeah.
fucking great, you know?
Oh yeah.
All right, so I got a couple more. I have Rob Klein. He has Predator 2, which I love. Random, and I guess it is a sequel, Silence of the Lambs.
That's
Yeah.
a sequel.
Yeah.
Manhunter.
Manhunter.
Yeah.
Right. Rec 2, which is actually, yeah.
That is one of the best series out there,
Yeah.
I think. I was debating about Rec 2 on that. Because Rec 1, 2, 3, all the Spanish ones, the originals, not the
Yeah,
Quarantine.
yeah.
Quarantine wasn't bad the first
Quarantine
one.
2 was great.
Which was the one
That was
on
on
the
the
plane?
plane.
That was 2? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, all 4... I think there's a 5th installation of that. But that's one of the best consistent series I've ever seen. Yeah.
Yeah, the first one, the Spanish one, is real scary.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, so number 3 he has Rec 2, number 2 he has Aliens, and number 1 Evil Dead 2.
Nice.
Hobart, he has number 5 Maniac Cop 2, Evil Dead 2, Dawn of the Dead, Slumber Party Massacre 2,
Nice.
and number 1 Halloween 3.
Nice.
The last one I have Robert Perez. He has Child's Play 2, Jason Lives, Halloween 3, Evil Dead 2, and Aliens. And then real quick, Mike Randall has The Devil and Miss Jones Part 2. All right, what's your number 1, Mark?
Well, number 1 is a repeat, but this one is the first horror film I ever saw, age 4. This is what started it all for me, and it is a repeat, but it's the greatest film ever. It is Halloween 2. It's the scariest film ever, and what I just loved about it, just to add real quick, not to repeat, that to me is what Halloween night is. I'm not into. I don't go to parties on Halloween. I don't do the hot chicks and skimpy outfits. I like to stay. It's very. If you notice that film, it seems like nobody's home. Like everyone is home, and they're just kind of. In that movie, Haddonfield, and probably part 1 too, as well. Everyone is just sort of. It's a very quiet, sleepy town. Halloween is sort of, like that, and it's just that essence of I don't know, it just adds this creepiness. And then that the razor blade scene, the razor blade. To me, that just kind of gives this sense of like I actually made a poster about that with apples with razors in it. What Halloween can be. I mean, of course, it's a myth. That's never actually happened. But John Carpenter was trying to create this night, the scariest night of the year, and I think he made Halloween, the holiday, just extremely scary. So I just wanted to add that to me, that Halloween, the night of Halloween, is just so goddamn scary in that movie.
That fucking subtle point with the razor, like when the kid goes
yeah.
Like as a kid, you're watching that, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
Yeah.
We're like, wait, that could happen?
Yeah,
Should
right,
be real,
exactly.
yeah.
That
Very minimal scene, but it just works. Like, for the people
just
that
adds
love
to
it.
Yeah.
Just like the shirt that I had, Hey Jerk Speed Kills, but that's part 1.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason, like it just, I don't know,
PJ Souls.
yeah, when I saw that shirt, I was like, I need that shirt.
Yeah, that's good.
So.
It's
Great.
All right, number 1, Langan.
Did you pick that?
Of course I did.
I can't.
Yeah,
you said you did it first, so I'm gonna back off this one, and I'm just gonna give. This isn't really my number 1 because me and Parker shared it, but I'm gonna honor my
Thanks,
man
pal.
here and just give a shout out to a couple of sequels that probably aren't gonna get mentioned.
Halloween Resurrection.
Fright Night 2.
Nice.
I don't think anyone has.
No.
They're very good.
What movie?
Fright Night 2.
I
The
agree.
original.
That's a great one. Morbid Angel, right?
Right.
Morbid Angel was in that movie.
Were they in It's not
yeah.
even available on DVD. I don't think officially released.
No, because
I
I
had
have,
to
I
get
have
it
a
on
Oh no,
VHS.
bootleg of it.
Demons 3, I think. Morbid Angel was in one of the movies.
Shit,
I
I
would
can
probably
look that
say
up.
Demons 3 then.
Yeah, I think it was on
Yeah.
Demons 3,
Yeah.
like this dance scene. Sorry.
But just a shout out to that one. Hello, Mary Lou, Prom Night 2. Probably not going to get a mention. Another solid sequel. And Troll 2,
Oh,
Nice.
which is the best, shittiest movie ever made.
That documentary.
Best
Well,
worst.
I bow to Mr. Parker
worst.
on choice of number 1, which I fully agree with. What do you got?
Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Why didn't nobody say that? That's great.
Well,
That's
because I
great.
knew he was going to.
Oh, that's great. That's a good one.
I don't know. Like I was telling Mark upstairs, like not only is it my favorite horror movie, but it's my favorite just movie in general.
Yeah.
Totally agreed.
I
Is
remember.
it to Krishna Zombie?
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. I mean,
Maynard.
I remember meeting half of those people. It's like I was fucking shaking at the convention, and first time that I met asshole Savini, that was a whole different name. But I remember, I think the first convention that I went to that I met all of them, stayed up like the night before, and I was just like, man, we're gonna watch night, dawn, and day, and we're gonna fucking drink the whole night. I think we got like 15 minutes into Dawn of the Dead and like passed out and blah blah blah. And I remember telling the guy that played Roger from Dawn of the Dead, I was just like, man,
Flyboy?
no, I guess the sniper guy or what? No, yeah, the SWAT guy.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's like, thanks so much, man. I was like, I love you guys, man. We did like this drinking games of your movie, and he kind of looked at me like, what the fuck is the matter with you, man?
That'd be $20.
Yeah,
Get
pretty
the
much.
fuck outta
Pretty
here.
much. And I
You need a picture of
I felt like saying, I was like, you smell like you've been hitting fucking Pappy's old fucking corn syrup yourself over there, you know? So
It's a long day. It's a long day behind that.
little bottle of hooch, you know. But
Were you going for 1970s
yeah,
references?
But it was the first tattoo that I ever got was a fucking Dawn of the Dead tattoo. So I knew that if I was going to get one, it had to be something meaningful and something that I could still watch. And holy shit, I think I have more fucking versions of that movie than any other movie that I own.
Yeah, there
so.
was a lot of versions.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
that.
Every VHS that came out, I had to buy. Every director's cut, European cut,
The
fucking
Dario Argento.
Argento
Which
version.
is very good.
Yeah,
that
the fucking.
cut.
I have the soundtrack up there.
The
you know.
3-hour extended
Yep.
version. Yeah.
Yep.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did he had something to do with that movie?
Dario Argento did the edit for the European audiences.
Yeah.
And it's a
Did
good
not know
edit.
that.
It's
That's
really
awesome.
good.
I did not know that.
So
he was
his
a huge fan.
Yeah,
of-
his was called Zombie 2.
Right.
That was his version.
And it was Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah.
That's what Zombie 2 is?
Yep.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, that's what Zombie
Zombie
was.
2 is the one with the
Oh, I'm
sharks.
sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
okay.
called, it was called
Yeah.
Zombie. That's why Zombie.
That was
Yes,
Zombie.
that's
and
what
then
it
Zombie
is.
2 is the
Okay.
sharks
Yes.
fighting
Okay,
zombies.
okay.
There
But
we
it was
go.
called, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's a. I totally agree with you. That
Yeah.
was my number 1 too.
I love the remake.
The remake
Yeah.
was good.
Took a while, but yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was great.
I think the thing that drew me in, I mean, it's one of the first horror movies I ever saw that made me fall in love with the genre easily, Dawn of the Dead. But, you go from, like, Night of the Living Dead, which is, I use this word all the time, but claustrophobic as far as set in this little farmhouse and these people defending themselves, a small group. And then this film blows it worldwide as this worldwide catastrophe and the shopping mall, and it the whole world of what is possible that we see commonplace in zombie films today. That film set the template.
Yeah.
That is the template.
That is
Pretty much created Tom Savini's career.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, that movie made a ton of money for Ramiro, and unfortunately, he put it all into his next movie, which was that piece of shit Night Riders. But that's a whole other,
That was bad.
story.
Well, my number 1 was already said, and it's definitely the best sequel of all time, which is Halloween 2.
Oh, nice.
Definitely,
Nice.
there's nothing.
See, that- I
There's
guess that-
nothing better for me than that sequel. Everything about it was just.
Do you like Michael Myers in it? Do you prefer him as opposed to Nick Castle?
To be honest with you, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, me too. That's the right answer.
Yeah, I think he. There was just It seemed like it was made by the same person. Like everything about the first one was like. I mean, obviously different director, same story, but it was just that same tense shit. The fact that he walked everywhere and yet was always there. There was no escaping this fucking person thing. Everything, I don't know. It's just from day one, it just scared the shit out of me.
How understaffed that hospital was.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, really.
That's the thing, right?
There's nobody working.
No one there.
Yeah,
but
they try to defend that in the commentary. They'll say,
"How the fuck would it?" Like
they say, "Oh, I've been to hospitals where there's not a lot of people, but not like that." There was
hospitals at night. There's a fucking janitor sweeping the floor. Some shit.
Exactly, somebody.
There's people still shit in bedpans at night. They don't sit in it all night.
Yeah, Mr. Garrett. There'd be like 8 Mr. Garrett.
Exactly.
All right, so real quick, I guess before,
That's right.
Since that was mentioned, I guess I want to show a little love to Toxic Avenger 4.
Oh wow,
Okay.
Citizen Toxie.
Citizen Toxie, yeah.
The first one's amazing. 2 and 3 are terrible.
Awful.
4,
But you got that guy's autograph.
Yeah, what you talked about.
I did actually.
Yeah.
Not by choice. He was trying to fuck my girlfriend. It's like, all right, you know what?
I'm talking
You
to the
can't
lady.
fuck my girlfriend, but I'll give you $10 for this if you shut the fuck up. Yeah, Toxic Avenger 4, Citizen Toxie was just everything a trauma movie should be. It was just disgusting and awesome. Let's see. I had Evil Dead 2 as well. And the other one that I didn't get a chance to mention, Final Destination 2.
Oh yeah, it was.
I
What was the opening on that one again?
The Lumber.
The
Oh,
Lumber,
that's the best one.
Yeah.
That's the one that made me want to watch all the other ones. And I think that was the best one. And Day of the Dead. I think Day of the Dead. I like Day of the Dead more than Dawn of the Dead.
Me,
Okay.
I
That's
do
great.
too. No
It's-
offense.
Yeah, no.
I do.
I can't
It's very.
See, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
They're both perfection.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
both
yeah,
great.
you like it.
You know
Okay,
what I
yeah.
mean? It's
It just
totally agreed.
it just ruined my life as a kid.
It's just dark and
Great.
dirty.
It's very dark and dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very.
It just I watched it and it left me with zero hope for life.
Yeah.
It sucked my will to, like I just watched it as a kid. It was 1985, so I was
Yep.
probably 7.
Was it the soldier? I see you have his autograph.
That's what makes
Oh,
a horror
who,
fan
Bob?
right there.
Not
Oh,
Bob.
Rhodes.
Yeah,
Rhodes
yeah,
was
yeah.
he was fucking crazy in
Just
real life.
describe
Yeah.
the movie
What, in
that
real
sucked
life, he
your
was?
Yeah, he was
soul
awesome.
and your happiness and everything out of life, and it's your one of your favorite movies ever. That's a horror fan.
Yeah.
That's why
think
we love this shit.
I think that's what happened. Like there's
Every my life,
that
I
movie.
I love
Most
it.
people would be like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember my older brother rented that and Faces of Death
Nice,
with one of
yeah.
his buddies.
Yeah.
And I remember them. I think I was watching TV with my parents downstairs, and they came downstairs with like a fucking 24-pack of like Budweiser, and they go into the room, and I just fucking hear them fucking laughing, like for like the next 3 hours, and I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever, blah blah blah. So he goes to work, and I go into his room the next day, and I was just like, oh, I guess this movie's funny. Let me watch it or whatever. Somehow I made it through all fucking Day of the Dead. Scared the fucking shit out of me. I didn't go to sleep that night.
It's awesome.
Went to go return it to South Shore Video, which was a mom and pop video store in Seaford, I believe, and rented it right again. And my mother goes, "Are you fucking kidding me? You didn't even go to sleep last night." I said, "Yep, I'm going to take that one again."
Yeah.
And that was
It's
it.
bleak.
great.
That's what
bleak.
makes, like you said, that's what makes a horror fan. And
Right.
from there, it's like
Right.
you either have that reaction where
Right.
you're like, I don't want to ever watch
You
this.
become
at an early age.
fascinated with that feeling.
Yeah.
If it disturbs you, it did its job.
Right.
It's a fucking horror movie.
Yeah.
That's what the whole key, you know?
Day of the Dead did. The
Yeah.
original Halloween did.
Sure.
Like I watched it and I'm like, this is scaring the shit out of me.
And I like it.
And I just, I don't know if I said that I liked it, but I must have. But I just kept watching it.
Yeah.
And
Well, there's
and
something drawing you to it to keep
yeah,
watching.
there's some like that's what like Day of the Dead made me just think that there was no hope on any planet because that movie, there was nothing to it that was like, there was no shining light in that
Right.
movie.
That's great. You came to the realization that we all do, just much earlier in life.
Yeah, yeah.
You were ahead of your
And
time.
not- and
Thanks to George Romero.
Well, that and the funny thing was, the first time I watched it, it was a double feature with that and A View to a Kill, which is James Bond.
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Huh.
Shout out to Roger Moore.
Shout out to Roger Moore, Christopher Walken,
Nice.
Grace Jones was in there.
Duran Duran.
Duran Duran had
Great
A View
song.
to a Kill.
Yeah.
So, all right, awesome. This is the 8th hour, so might as well say goodbye. I didn't know Marc
Yeah.
before today, but this was great.
Yeah, it was
Everything-
good.
Fantastic.
Good
Thank
stuff.
you for
Thank you.
coming,
Yeah, thank
man.
you for having me. This was
Absolutely.
good. Thank you, man.
You
It's
got it,
good.
man.
Good stuff.
And when can we expect that Red River podcast?
I will. No, I will. I'm booked
No pressure
until.
or
No,
anything.
I will. I'm booked until I think August. But I would whip something up.
Cool,
Yeah,
man.
we
You know,
don't-
just don't be dicks and be like.
Is this shit ready yet?
Thank
Thank you for coming. I
Yeah,
really
of course.
appreciate
Yeah,
that. Was
appreciate-
very,
yeah, yeah,
very
Definitely.
good,
Like
interesting
if we
stuff.
had an 8 bowl of Coke, we would have been. It would have been an 8 hour.
That's great.
long-
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Serious.
No, that's awesome, man.
It's a good thing that we.
And you
don't
would have been
have-
saying, "Hey, Lana."
Yeah, but
Hey, Lana!
and being that this was radio and stuff, we're definitely going to put up some
Radio.
pictures of your
Oh, sweet.
your artwork so
Artwork,
people
yeah,
can
yeah.
see
For
what we're
sure.
talking about. Because this guy's
Absolutely.
stuff is superior.
Thank
It
you.
is.
Really
It
good.
is. All jokes aside, it's
Yeah.
pretty impressive. Like I don't know what goes in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I could just Google and find out, but like,
Sure.
it's fucking fancy as fuck.
Thank you,
Yeah.
man. Appreciate it.
You know?
Appreciate it.
I mean, let me find out it's easy. Then I. But it just seriously, like to go back to like the barn, like all
Yeah.
these.
If you like that, if you believe the 70s, 80s, and that stuff and the artwork and those films was the glory days of
Yes.
some of that stuff, the look, the feel,
Yeah.
everything, not just the films, but everything else that surrounds it. This is what we're talking
Ah,
about.
yeah.
This artwork encompasses all of that.
Oh, thank you. That's what I try.
So, all right, yeah, our next guest would be Dan Lamelli from the drummer of Incendiary, who's doing his thing right now.
Got a
You know.
new album out.
Yeah,
New
they're
album out,
fucking-
it's doing great.
Oh
Was
my
on, like,
God,
on
they're kicking ass.
Billboard charts, you know,
Awesome.
they're going to be like the next Rolling Stones, I think.
Nice.
So,
Better get him in here fucking quick.
Yeah.
we get him exactly before he has a rider.
Sign anything?
That's awesome.
All right, so that's it. Thank you. See ya. Bye.
Bye. Bye.